say when there are no words? Feel a song that's never been heard. How do you know when you hear the call? What do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea. Ball, cannonball. What do you do when the mountain is there? How do you answer the challenging day? And when your back's against the wall, what do you do when you've done it all? Cannonball, 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 cannonball. It's not what you do, it's how you do. Be anything you want to be. It's not what you got, it's how you use it. You be you and I'll be me, it's just a matter of style. You can't fake it, mile after mile, feeling free. If you got the soul, you can make it. Move 'em out, let 'em roll, from sea to shining sea.
Yes, indeed. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, mothers, fathers, daughters, sons, brothers, and sisters. This is the Apex Online Racing Triple Crown event, round number 2. It is the 2.4 hours of Le Mans. My name is King-Kodiak, and I'll be your commentator throughout this evening's race. This is, of course, the PC version. The PS4 and Xbox races are having theirs on their own streams, and I am in charge of the PC stream. We have got 19 drivers, 12 GTEs, and 7 LMP1Hs. Looks like all the LMP1Hs have opted for the Audi. That's not entirely a surprise, as the Audi has proven to be rather effective here at Le Mans. Hello to those that have joined the stream at this very early stage. We're in qualifying for 30 minutes. See our roaring Audis, as much as those diesel engines actually roar, you know what I mean, are flying around the track. Let's have a look at who we have. Woohoo! That's someone determined through the water gates. So, who have we got? We've got Nunu. Nunu is one of our endurance league racers. It's got someone right in front of us. There's no teams in this event. It's just those who signed up, those who practiced, those who wanted to take part are here today. Jezza, name I'm not familiar with. Welcome to you and welcome to AOR. He is just backing off, it looks like. Where are you? It's been a while since I've done Le Mans, so having to get used to my virtual cues again. He's coming up to the pressure curve very slowly for some reason. Don't really feel long, maybe just making sure there's no one anywhere near your nose, so why he's going slowly. Borderline is a man I have commentated on a few times. I have raced against a man in social events. Good to see him. Just starting his lap, the mighty Le Mans is there waiting for him. Hamish Sopwith, my faithful companion. It's a joy to be able to commentate on Hamish for several reasons. One, he's a racer. Two, he's one of the first people I ever commentated upon. He was in the very first race that I ever tried my vocal cords on. That was the it was the second race I ever did. It was the GT3 Season 4 finale. It was in that particular race. He was also in the following season. But I commentated with Hamish for the F1 seasons. I've done the last couple with him, and so it was a great joy to see him in front of the camera. He may disagree with that, but it's good for me. THR Operator, not a name I'm familiar with, so welcome to you. One of our American drivers he's just gone through Anarch and screaming on down towards the Porsche curves. One of our LMP1H's, TJ Gamer, has not left the pits, so hopefully he hasn't been a problem. AOR Apex has, however, is our 7th and final LMP1H car. Now, being that there's only 19 cars, I kind of imagine there's going to be some stints where there may not be a lot of kind of on-track overtaking going on, but you never know. You never know. We rely upon our GTEs sometimes to fill in the gaps for us. It's like as Apex comes through off of the Mozambique, screaming on down. That is what it looks like for the LMP1Hs. That is not a lot of viewing. It's quite compact in that. Now we are looking at mixed weather conditions. It'll be dry to wet and then back to dry as we go through the 2.4 hours of this race. So that's really going to throw the strategy quite into a curveball situation. When will the rain arrive? Well, how long will the soft tyres last? Will they run the soft tyres at all? Lots and lots of questions. You can see the sun is out. It's bright sunshine at the moment here in qualifying, of course. So there's nothing they need to worry about just yet. But it is something they will have to bear in mind. Now, where it becomes a big problem, if you stay on board with Apex, you'll see as we come into the Porsche curve, it's here where the water is very, very tricky. With particularly the LMP1H is staying really nailed to the throttle. You can see on the speedo on the right that Apex has his foot very firmly on the floor through that entire section. As it starts to get slippery, that becomes much more difficult to do. You start to get some times on the board as Operator has jumped into the pit from getting pole with that 309.154 and comes straight back out again. Hamish has got a time on the board. He does have enough time to get another. Wow, that's dedicated coming through the S's, heading up to Tetra Rouge. Got a little twitchy coming out of that corner onto the Harley 8 and off he goes. Apex has stuck that car on second position, 3:10.178, just over a second behind Operator. Now, endurance event over a 3-minute lap, being a second off the pace is nothing to worry about at all. Nunu has got his time on the board as well. A banker left for him as well, 3:75.4, this is a tenth a bit quicker than Hamish. And Borderline has also registered a time on the board, 3:21.109. I think it's fair to say that those three have got quite a bit more time than they can find. Some drivers were a little nervous about this particular event. Jezza has yet to put the time on the board, so I'm assuming that Jezza was on a time lap. Riding along the long Hanadia. He's coming up to the second chicane and he's pulled over, interestingly. There was someone coming up behind him, that's why. So Jezza does not have a legal lap on the board yet. And neither, interestingly, does TJ Gamer, who still has not come out. Hello to those that have responded in the chat. Nice to see you. Is this free practice? No, this is qualifying. Apologies for the fact that it's the director suite. Of course, the race director, which is myself this evening, would only see this. Normally the streamer would have a much cleaner interface, but it's just myself in the box this evening. So Hamish has actually come back in, so he hasn't improved yet, but he's still got some time to get out there and get on with the job. None of the GTEs have come out. I believe they are coming out when there's 15 minutes remaining. Interesting they've decided to do it that way this time. But that is how they have chosen to do the qualifying for this event. All but two of our LMPs are... Oh, that's not how you do... That's not how you do the Dunlop chicane zone. Just is really pushing hard. He hasn't started... Well, if he has started his time lap, he's binned it because he actually pulled over and allowed somebody through on the Hanadia. So... he will have to do another lap. Wow, that's determined. Flashy, but not the fastest way of doing things. towards the Porsche curves is Jezza. So, as I said before, the weather turns wet. Why, thank you very much there. I try my best. That's a hell of a clan tag. LCEFRK. Thank you very much for that. I do try. Let's follow Jezza through on his lap then, as he's coming through the Porsche and King-Kodiak curves up to the 4 chicanes. If this is a time lap, then he's already, like I say, he's already binned it essentially through getting out of people's way. Let's follow Jezza through then as he comes through to complete this lap. Does he put a time on the board? He does not, so that was an out lap. And away we go then. Over to the left. Cancel the apex quite nice. He needs to keep over to the right hand side, but keep very, very settled, as it is a very short run from the Dunlop curve to the first of the Dunlop chicanes. Through those quite nicely. Now through the S's section. It's the shorter circuit as we saw on the right hand side there. Completes the S's and up to Tetra Rouge. Again, it's so easy to catch that apex and to pull the car around. More a problem in these LMP1Hs. The GTEs tend to do that fairly well. The suspension a little bit more forgiving than these roaring diesel engines in the Audis. So along the long Hanardi 8. Oh, Alti. What can I say, my friend? It's been posted in the forums for a while. So, through the first chicane then, for Jezza. Long down to the second chicane. So keeping over to the right hand side, no need to deviate from that particular course. And then, the first apex, you've got to scrub off enough speed. Of course, keeping the momentum as high as possible through there is absolutely crucial. So coming into the Mulsanne turn, of course I call that straight the Hanardi 8. It's often referred to as the Mulsanne. It has various names depending on which map you're looking at. Through the Mulsanne turn and then heading on down towards Indianapolis and Arnage. Yes, I certainly can make that small adjustment. I actually adjusted my mic downwards earlier, so it looks like I did a little too far. So apologies for that, Maxo. Thank you very much for that. Through Indianapolis then. Keep over to the left-hand side. It's very easy to actually get Indianapolis completely wrong, especially in the later part of the race when fatigue is starting to become a problem. Now screaming on. Over the left hand side, throws it into the first of the Porsche curves. Nicely navigating through the Corvette. Oh, no sooner do I say that than the tail gets very, very squirrely. Into the 4 chicanes. Very nicely settled. Oh, but too wide up the very last invalidated lap. How frustrating is that? How frustrating for Jezza. But that is the LMPs. That their day is done unless they are already on track. You can see Operator, Apex, Nunu, Sopwith are all out on track. Borderlines brought his car in. The GTEs are now going to get underway. There they go. So now the final 15 minutes of the GTEs will now get underway. Ulti, if you have me on Steam, message me, please. If not, add me and message me quick. So now the GTE is getting underway. We have 12 of those in this evening's race of variety of makes. You can see Capo here, and not a name I'm familiar with, so welcome to you, has opted for the Ferrari. Dawu is certainly a name I am familiar with. In the Roaring Corvette. Paint Too High, a name I do recognise, also has opted for the Mighty Chevrolet. The Ripper, that's not a name I'm familiar with, so welcome to you. Heading on down the heading on down the Hanardia. Corvette, that is Mixor. Again, also not a name I'm familiar with. Welcome to you, opting for the Ford. Anyone that's done any endurance racing here at AOR knows this man. It is Andrex. He's the one responsible for all the endurance stuff. He's opted for his beloved M6 in the Stars and Stripe livery. Right behind him is Zero Stefan, and is anyone I do recognise, but not through commentating with. I actually did a rallycross social with him the other night. Probably the other week, actually. So he's opted for the Corvette as well. The Corvette getting quite a strong showing. There's another one. File Dark. Apologies there, just sending a message in. Dow King, yes, also a name I recognise from AOR's endurance event. He has opted for the Corvette as well. That is our Sol Ferrari, I think it is, streaming on down to the Mulsanne corner. Filden has opted for the Porsche. What a weird sound from the outside. Now, TJ Gamer did not come out. He's actually one of the MPs. There is Zenvo, or Zenny as he's otherwise known. Oh, he's up to the plain white Porsche this time. Well, it should be easy to spot. And TPW, Ticklish Pickle Wickle, also opting for the Porsche. So a few Porsches, a Ferrari, a BMW, and quite a lot of Corvettes. That is what the GTE see. Now, we had a look through the eyes of the LMPs earlier. Notice they have very much more limited... Oh, no, that's not going to do it.
Evening.
Hello, Hamish. Joining me in the commentary box briefly is a competitor in this particular race, but my faithful companion. It is Hamish Sopwith. Hello to you. You struggled a little bit in your Audi.
I did. I was really gutted, actually. Good and bad, really. You would notice my time's mighty close to the guy in front of me, who I don't know.
Is Nunu, yes.
Nunu. Unfortunately, what happened is, after you do the high-speed left-right chicane just before the Mulsanne Straight.
Yes.
I basically put the car scraping the wall there. I got a slow-down penalty. I lifted off by a huge amount. Anyway, all in all, I lost 3 seconds going down the Mulsanne Straight on my best lap. I managed to be a tenth up by the end of the lap, believe it or not. So I gained 3 seconds on that particular lap. So
wow.
So disappointed I only got 17, but I mean my times is never going to be a 3:10. But I could have potentially got third, but GTEs look like they are quite racing at the moment. Apparently someone put it in the wall, so
oh, I didn't see them. Didn't see an incident like that, but
I don't know from what I heard from the chat. So they'll all be on the outlaps at the moment. So
indeed, we are looking at Capo in our Sol Ferrari. He's heading on down to the Hanardier. All 12 of our GTEs are out on track. Only 7 LMPs, which is a bit of a shame. But all you LMPs have opted for the Audi. So how much of a difference does the Audi have to the rest? Or what did you find?
Well, I found the other viable option I would have had was a Porsche, because it has a recharging curves, which does mean you have an extra couple of miles an hour down the Mulsanne Straight. Overall, the Audi, it handles the best. It's the best fuel economy. It's a diesel, obviously, only revving to about 4,500. And it's the nicest to drive once you get past the instability of the car. Which is why I found the Audi the best. I imagine it's why all the other guys did. Someone said there's five LMP ones. I'm not sure why the other two didn't participate. Apparently, there is an extra driver coming in Kodiak.
Yes, there is. It's Ulti. That we've actually lost one and gained one. Weirdly, just as Ulti joined, someone disappeared. So maybe someone doesn't like Ulti, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah, I were racing him.
And he's also opted for Corvette, although he hasn't left the garage yet. He still has 8 and a bit minutes. Maybe he's having a crack at setups. So
yeah, I mean the track does obviously a rubber in Project Cars with Live Track 3, so that is something to look out for. The track, I mean the fact that I was able to gain 3 seconds on my lap. Because I came into the pits after making a fairly big mistake and then went straight out again. The fact I was able to gain that much time means that the track is definitely rubbering and very quickly indeed. But it's nice to get a banker lap. Really don't want setting it last minute. Especially, it's so easy to make a mistake, especially if you're setting 3-minute 40 lap times like the GT guys will be setting.
Indeed. Strong Corvette contingent out there, and we will soon be seeing. Looks like I'm trying to figure out who's actually ahead of the queue. Darwin's just started his lap. We saw him coming out a bit. Pink 2
Potentially Andrex.
He's coming to the Porsche curves, so there is someone ahead of him. Oh, Ripper is actually coming through the curves himself. So, and Ulti, our late joiner, has come out in his black Corvette. I think it is indeed the Ripper that's now coming through the Forge gains. We first get a time on the board and see what he manages to do in that roaring Chevrolet. It's a 3:53.3. That's the opening time for the GTEs. So let's see. Oh, here comes Capo in the lone Ferrari. He does a 3:54.5, so not too much of a difference there. Who else?
Wonder what Andrex is doing. He's coming over the line, and now, using all the curb on the outside of the final corner, he gets himself up to P9 with a 56.2. I'm sure he'll be wanting to improve on that. According to Andrex, the Corvettes are the fastest round here, but he's opted for a BM, so he obviously likes that car. I think it's a car he's used in GT3 racing. If correct me on that, I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're correct. You are correct on that one. As Dalking has also got himself second in class, 3:53.4.
Oh, that's close.
It's pretty close, yeah. And then 3:53.69, sorry. So once again, our GTEs are pretty closely compact.
Wow, look at that guy. I need to find out his name.
Oh, Zenny has done a 350 in the Porsche. Wow.
He's on a different league, to be honest. Literally, 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's a hell of a jump. So whether he's just he's putting a lot of left turning into a right corner there. It comes through Tetra Rouge. So it could be that he's just thrown caution to the wind and not been too cautious with the banker lap. Absolutely possible. So Zenny currently top with Ripper 2, Dalking 3, Ping 2 4, Capo 5. There's Field Arc. Black Corvette 3:54.8. TBW in the next Porsche with 3:55.3. 3:55.7 is Migzorn with Andrex 3:56.2, and there is Zero Stefan with 3:56.8. Ulti yet to cross the line because he was joined us a little bit late, and Daru abandoned his lap and jumped back to the pits. So he will be, I'm assuming this is the end of the out lap. He's now coming off of that back straight and through the Porsche curve now. Wow, he is not hanging around. He is really pushing hard through the Porsche curves.
It's such a difficult section to get right on the outside, at the end of the Porsche curbs. Just, I'm rubbish with recording names, sorry, Kodiak. To the second to last chicane, there's a curb on the right-hand side. If you go over that curb, just before the pit entry, actually, you pretty much, your car will either spin or it jumps you so far off the track, it actually ends up giving you a penalty. That curb is absolutely vicious. So you might see a lot of drivers cautious through there come the race. Alti has actually come through that section at this point, and he's done a pretty good job, actually. It looks like a smooth lap from him so far, using all the track exactly what you need to do around this 3 mile track. Not 3 mile, 4 minute track for these guys.
3 minute, not 3 mile.
Yes.
Bit more than that, I think. But
across the line, and he is set A when it updates, which maybe it was disallowed.
Unless he invalidated it, or that was actually his outlap. Could have been, because
yes,
like I said, he did join the session late. So Daru and Alti have... Oh, no, that's gone horribly wrong. He's completely overshot the Dunlop chicane. So that'll be invalid, unfortunately.
I don't think he has enough time to get around either.
Well, he won't be able to start another one, though. He's way too late for that. Daru is he's on a time lap, but he won't have a time to do another one. He will miss the line just about. Zenny is backed off, and he's looking to give himself... Oh, there are a few cars towards the end of the Corvette curve, so he's looking to give himself as much possible time as he can. Now it looks like he's floored it.
Well, gone quicker. Ripper's gone a bit quicker, Kodiak. He's into 52s, unless you already mentioned that.
Haven't yet. No, 3:52.759. Good spot. So he's pressing on. He has, of course, started that next time lap. 7 litres. What kind of fuel usage are you getting out of the Audi per lap?
Per lap for the Audi, qualifying is about 4.3 litres a lap in the race. It varies depending on how you drive, but probably on average 3.8 to 3.9.
So about 4.5 there or thereabouts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I try and fuel usage is a big one, because your tyres will often run out before your fuel, and because of the WEC rules, you can't refuel and do the tyres at the same time. So you very much want to do what you can to save fuel and tyres. It is basically, the winner will be the most consistent and the less pit stopped, and that's basically how it will be of the two classes. So we're in for an absolutely fascinating race, and the tow around this track is is unbelievable. So, well, I'm sure it will be. I haven't actually raced with anyone here yet, so I'm hoping all the racing
your time will come,
Kodiak. Even though it might be messing around,
I was going to say,
my racecraft.
I'm not sure the various challenges I've done that you've been a part of. I'm not sure how much preparatory work that counts as, but hey,
I honestly believe it's made me a better driver, and in more difficult conditions, because it is. We still race, and there's you build. It's still racing, and you're still building up your racecraft, even if you're going multiple seconds a lap slower than you perhaps would do, like we are pushing at the moment. So I'm very excited to see what will happen. I've qualified P4. If I can get a podium, I'll be chuffed.
Well, with 30 seconds to go, you'd best head back down to the drivers' channel, and good luck to your race, sir, and we'll definitely see you on the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. I obviously, good luck to all the drivers, and thank you to all the organisers for organising this event.
Absolutely. And Daru binned that lap. He obviously, that's interesting. I thought oh dear, that's an unfortunate pit lane entry. So Alti then. Oh wow, that's a lot of opposite lock coming into the Porsche curves. The checkered flag is out. Some of the GTEs are already back. Zenny, Ping Too High, Zero Stefan are all back, along with Mig Zorn, TBW, and Capo's brought his car in. Andrex just coming through. Arnage, where is Alti? He is coming up to the Porsche curves and the Ford chicanes now. Let's see see what he does. Can he keep it? As I said, it's so easy just to overcook the gas just that tiny bit and throw a whole lap away. We saw it from earlier. Ulti is a 406. Oh dear. That's not gone well for him. But he still has a pair of LMP180s right behind him. Who is still out there? The Ripper. Does he improve? 353. Oh, he did in time, but not in position. Remains in third with a 352.714. Dow King is further back on the lap. There is File Dark. Here comes Andrex in the M6. 355.5 is his lap into the Ford chicanes. Will he improve? Oh, that's very loose on the tail. The M6 just about keeps it within the lines. Does he improve? Oh, he was a tenth off of overhauling the Ferrari, but remains in 10th position. 354.742. That's at Indianapolis. That bank left-hander for Dow King. Where's File Dark? He's actually just ahead on the road. Through Arnage. See on board? No, we can't quite see. We look on the map. Oh, actually, no. Then File Dark must have brought that car in of his own accord, because they were actually fairly close to each other on track. The only person still going is, as we can see, Dow King in the blue and red Corvette. Sweeping into the Portuguese. Again, we're seeing the tail of these cars very, very loose. Through the Corvette curves now. Keeping the car nice and steady. A little wide coming through that middle bit and sliding the car around the exit of the Corvette curves. Now coming up to the Ford curves. Ford chicanes. The right hand side. Very, very easy to misjudge when someone's coming into the pits or not, with the pit lane entry right there. And here he comes. 353, 488. Does he improve? Oh, 352.2 for Dow King, but 350.3, nearly 2 full seconds, was Zenny's advantage at the front of the GTE field. Wow, what a stunner. So, Dawu was unable to set a lap in the GTE field. He will start at the back of that with Jezza, sadly, validating his lap, didn't manage to get that one done. TJ Gamer did not set a time. So, unfortunately, they will start at the back of the field. Ulti struggled a bit with that 406.2. Andrex just a couple of tenths off the back of the Ferrari. As I said earlier, 354.742. Capo in the Ferrari, 354.5 and then 354.2. So very close there between 8th, 9th and 10th. In the Porsche with Migzorn in the Ford, Sol 4 353.6. And the qualifying is now officially done. So the starting grid will look like... That's a very weird look from my game. There it is. So, Operator is on pole for the LMP1 with AOR Apex and then Nunu. Payments up with Borderline, and a big gap to where Jezza and TJ Gamer are. And then leading the GTEs is Zenny with Dow King 2, Ping 293, Ripper 4, 075. File Darg in 6th with Migzorn 7, TBW 8. Capo 9, Andrex 10, Ulti 11. Oh dear, it's not a good day for the TX3 boys. They're usually much more towards the sharper end of the Le Mans or of endurance field. So we're just waiting then for the session to tick over to the race. Hello everybody that is in the chat. Nice to see you all. We're just waiting for the session to move over. Hopefully it hasn't completely died on me. Otherwise we'll have to reform the grid. Oh, there we go. No sooner do I think that, then... oh, that's interesting. Apex was showing us in the pits for a second. Now, Jezza and TJ Gamer are starting at the back of their class, not at the back of their field. I was a little curious on how that would work, but they have started. TJ Gamer opting for the Toyota as opposed to the Audi. You need only 7 LMP180s in this session, in this event. It's This is only in that white Porsche. So now is a 2-minute countdown where people hopefully remember to change to their race setup. We had an unfortunate incident in this week's endurance race where one of our competitors forgot to load their race setup and started the race in their qualifying trim, which meant they detonated their engine before the end of the race. They were hellishly quick though. Fastest in their class, I'm not going to say more than that. So, all the Audis, of course, in the LMP field, except for the TS50 hybrid. It's going to be interesting to see how TJ Gamer manages the pace against the Audis. Zenny lead Porsche, and you can see it's the Porsche, Corvette, all the way down to 6th, and then it's Ford of Migzorn, then Porsche, TBW, the sole Ferrari of Capo, Andrex in the M6, Ulti and Daru rounding out the field in the remaining 2 Corvettes. So from 2nd to 6th is the Chevrolet mark. Ready or not, we will be heading to the grid. Right. It is formation lap time, so the field will be led away by THR operator. They would ignore the lights, unless of course they're going to go for a full standing start. Not with the way they're revving. They'll sit still. Yeah. Oh, that's Apex. It's very keen to get underway. He won't get penalised for that. So, what's going to happen now is the field is going to be led away for a formation lap of the mighty Le Mans circuit. Open that up, yep. You can see the LMP fields and GT fields will separate a little bit. They'll separate by about 30 seconds or so that we can have a look at both of their starts. Here you go, the Audis. Audis plus Toyota. The Toyota doesn't get much more visibility than the Audis. It just has a much screamier engine. It has a bigger fuel tank as well. As Hamish alluded to, they're using the Audis have a smaller fuel tank, but it is a diesel engine. So it roughly balances out, though it does catch people out, as we saw in the endurance race in Monza a couple of weeks ago. TX3 Storm was leading comfortably, had to do a splash and dash at the end and lost the lead, and therefore the race win to a Toyota, which was York. So on to the Hinardier they come. Keeping everything warm, all the tyres and the brakes and what have you. So what's going to happen is they will get around about to where the Porsche curves start, or depending on, it might be soon after the Arnage, where they reform the 2x2 line. As you can see where they are at the moment, they are part of the way down the Hinardier. Thought they might have actually done the formation lap a little quicker than this. There was talk about doing so, but they opted not to. On the rest then. That's the view from Darby's car. 12 GTEs, 7 LMPs then are keeping their pace at around now. I use miles an hour. Apologies to those that want kilometers an hour. Nothing I can do about it right now. You're going to have to deal with it, I'm afraid. And that's how much. I always think he's going to hit the wall when Darby's throwing the car that hard. So this is the second event in the Triple Crown series. The IndyCar event happened a couple of months ago. Indianapolis 500 was recreated. We are of course doing Le Mans now, and the final Triple Crown event will be announced when it is ready. There's no exact date for it. It is a 100% distance Le Mans race. That should be quite fun to see. A Le Mans race? Monaco race. What am I talking about? 100% distance Le Mans race is 24 hours. Not something you can recreate in project cars, I'm afraid. If you want that, you need R Factor or R Factor or A Racing, I would have thought you would need for that. So now coming into the second chicane. The GTEs are quite rightly staying quite close to the LMP field. We still have all 19 drivers. No one's fallen off the world. What don't know who it was we lost from the GTE field when Ulti joined. As you see, operator has the best view in the world. It takes such a long time to do the formation lap under normal conditions. That's why I'm a little surprised they opted to run the... Oh, hello. Nunu has fallen to the back of the LMP field. Well, unfortunately, if you have a problem during the formation lap, if you spin or if you become out of position, you must fall to the back of the field. He's been allowed, unless, of course, you are, by gentleman's agreement, you are allowed to retake your position. So he's had a problem. He may have had a hardware problem, a wheel problem, or possibly a game screen freeze or something like that. It hasn't necessitated him coming into the pits. Oh, that was borderline. It was wandering off the road there. So Nunu has been allowed to retake his third position. Not that the start makes a great deal of difference in a 24-hour or any endurance event, irrespective of length. The start position doesn't make a great deal of difference. Nunu has been allowed to turn his which sadly puts TJ. Oh, TJ's falling off the back of the LMP a little bit. That's fine. He's got time to pull that back. Through Indianapolis, heading down towards Arnage, and here you can see the 2x2 line is now being formed. So, why is TJ getting so far off the back of the field? He's probably just putting some heat to his brakes. Now we'll see the 2x2 line being reformed, or it'll be along here. There, you can see it now being formed. TJ will slot into position. He has to speed up to actually catch up the pack. This is where the speed is reduced to 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour, and it will be this until they get to the start-finish line, and where the operator will decide at what point he decides to floor it to signify the beginning of the race. Now, if we look at Zenny, you can see he's reformed the 2x2 line for the GTEs, but a little way back from the back of the LMPs. If you look, there's the LMPs, and they are about 4 seconds further down the road. They'll probably increase that gap a little bit, although both grids are rolling at pretty much the same speed. Into Porsche curves once again. It's very, very nerve-wracking being that close. We go, for instance, go on board with borderline. That's when we use the chase game. It's Jesse. Oh, he's definitely a little bit further. Oops! You saw a bit of... Was that Hamish? Yes, it was. Hamish got a little bit caught out there by Apex. Now, you're not allowed to brake check. You're not allowed to weave. You must just maintain your position in the 2x2 line. Now, there is the view from Hamish's perspective. I think Hamish prefers to use that view, which is absolutely fine. You're allowed to use any driver view you prefer. I personally prefer that one. I'm not a fan of that one, certainly not for an endurance event. I hold these guys in the utmost respect for taking part in an endurance race. It is certainly not something I could manage. Now you'll see that the GTs have fallen a little way back. They've actually sped up a little bit. You need to slow that down, otherwise they're going to close that gap now. And these guys need to speed up a little bit because that gap's going to close down as well. Listen to that, just roar of the Audis and scream of that Toyota at the back. Spot the odd one out. Through the Ford chicanes. If we jump on board with Hamish, right in the middle of the pack. So operator from any moment from now can floor it to signify the beginning of the race. And there he goes now. We are racing here at Le Mans. Decent start as you would imagine from operator. Sopwith has got a stunning start. He's already up to third. He's got Nunu. That was a pretty slow start then from Nunu. He's already had trouble in this in the formation lap. Through they come onto the Dunlop chicane, through the Dunlop curves. And that's borderline that's in trouble. He's fallen to the back of the field. Now the GTE should be underway. Yes, they are now. As Zenny gets their field underway. That is Down King and Ripper in the blue and yellow Corvettes respectively, trying to do something about it. There's a big move there from Down King on the inside of the Dunlop chicane that doesn't quite come off. Looks like everybody is behaving themselves. Jump down to the M6. Oh, Andrix was actually a little bit boxed in there. And oh, TBW's in big trouble. He's fallen right to the back of the field. Any damage on the Porsche? He's very, very slow, so there could well be problems for TBW. That's a long way to limp. But everybody else seems to be okay. The top two jumping back up to the LMPs have really broken away. Hamish in third is 2.5 seconds behind this particular battle. Look at that. And we've lost one already. Oh no, we've lost. It's one of our LMPs. Unbelievable. We only had 7 of them and we've just lost one already. Oh no, what a great shame. Well, Operator has actually lost the lead to Apex. Hamish is under pressure from Nunu, so that just leaves TJ Gamer and Borderline. Oh, there was only 7 of them and I can't remember which one it is. I have such a terrible memory on me, I really do. Unfortunately, I don't know who it is we've lost. Oh, Capo's in trouble. He's fallen. He's had an issue as well. He's fallen behind TBW in the GTEs. Wow, you can see if we bring up the map. Actually, it's better if we bring up the cockpit view. There's the field of GTEs. So there's a gap of 4 seconds there, 5 seconds for. Oh, it's Jezza. Oh, unbelievable! What a shame. You've struggled in qualifying and now you've crashed out. Or your game has crashed out rather. That's absolutely unbelievable. Really sorry to hear that, sir. Oh, look at that. Less than a second separating the top 2 is now 3.5 seconds between himself and Hamish. Hamish has broken free of Nunu, as you can see, it's 1.5 seconds between second and third now. But it's not about what they do now, it is how they manage their performance. It was a long way to go. Borderline is sticking with TJ Gamer as best he can. The Toyota, oh dear, Borderline a little bit deep there into Indianapolis. Let's have a look at where our GTEs are. Oh, look at Andrex. Big problem there coming off of the Mulsanne. That's Dawood, it's Ulti and Dawood that got past the M6. Andrex getting very, very sideways alongside the Ford of Migzor. So lots of argy-bargy going on there. There you see, that's Zero Stefan in that yellow Corvette with TBW, Ticklish Pickle Wickle and Capo side by side. They've come off of the Mulsanne as well. They can see the GT field ahead of them. The Porsche and the Ferrari still side by side. They're going to come up to Indianapolis. Oh, one of these is going to have to blink. The Ferrari noses ahead. No, the Porsche's ahead. Ooh, who's going to blink first? Oh, and TBW backs out of that one. Saw that he didn't have the ideal line. And the Ferrari sweeps up into 11th in class. Nicely done. Ulti is closing in on that pack of 4 ahead of him. Corvette, BMW and Ford right with him. So now the start is done, and look at that. Operator does not want to let Apex go, and now starting to see the racing laps coming in. Apex with a 3:16.4 on the board. Of course, they started accelerating slightly late as far as racing lap times are concerned. That's why the time is slower than you might expect. It's not even a second that separates those two. Sopwith has lost that third position to Nunu, so he's made a mistake somewhere. It's actually off the line as well, looking at the times. And he's right there, he's only half a second behind. That's what it looks like from Hamish's perspective. Oh, he's got a slowdown penalty. He's just eased off the gas. There he goes. He's cut a corner somewhere. So easy to do. TJ Gamer has got Borderline only about one. Well, wow, Borderline was really closing in there before they got anywhere near the braking zone for that chicane. That's rather testament to how quick the Audis are. And Zero Stefan is in already. Ouch. That's not good. No obvious sign of damage on the Corvette. Interesting. Could be. It could be suspension or something like that. Well, the pit crews don't animate properly for a spectator, I'm afraid. So we won't know what's going on, but that's not a short stop. He had a full, or near a full tank of fuel, so there's nothing to do with that. TBW is with Capo. Oh, Andres has got himself a penalty. A 2-second penalty for the M6. Andres is one of the cleanest drivers in AOR, and he's actually the first one to get his name on the penalty board. Oh dear. Now they can appeal these penalties. It's not always worth it in a endurance setting. Oh, and Dalking has done the same then. A 1-second penalty for him. That's the Ford getting a decent draft off of the M6. The M6 getting a good tow off the Corvette. And these three remaining in their respective positions. You saw Alti in the background of the shot. Looks like Mixon lining up for a move on Andrex. I mean, the Hardier is so wide that there's not a lot of point trying to defend it per se. Even still, Andrex has positioned himself on the inside. He's looking to try and box the Ford in behind the Corvette of Dawu. And, oh, that's very close, but he had to let that one go. He's going to try a bit of a switchback on the Ford. Let's jump on board with Andrex to see. Get a bit of a slipstream off the Ford, nothing too great, but he's now going to try an inside manoeuvre for the Mulsanne, and of course he's going to slow them up. Returns back to that slipstream position. You see how he's having to modify the throttle before he even gets on the gets on the brakes rather. So he needs a bit more of a gap so he can get a run up to try and overtake the Ford. Really. Whilst they're doing that, Alti in the background is looming large. Six trying his best to hang on to the back of the Ford. Whilst that's all going on, look at that! Ping too high, the Ripper and Dow King! Whoa, big problem! Massive problem! Oh, huge impact! Huge impact! That's the Ripper that took a huge hit to the nose as he got very sideways in Indianapolis. So he's spun the car around, gone onto the dust to try and get out of people's way. There's Capo and TPW coming through. Zero Stefan has of course been in the pits, so he's quite some way behind this particular battle. 45 seconds indeed. Ouch, that was a huge hit on the front of the Corvette. That's going to be a trip to the pits for certain. Let's jump back up to see how our MMP-1Hs are doing. Borderline still on the back of that screaming Toyota. So that's what 3/10 looks like to these things, but look at the pace from the Audi. Screams past the Toyota. A bit of an interesting choice, admittedly, from TJ Gamer, whether that was intentional. Oh no! Commentator curse on Borderline. What a shame. He's overshot the braking point. Oh, it's filled on. We lost in quali. Oh, shortly after quali. Oh, what a shame for you, sir. Oh, no, it was during qualifying. We did actually see you drop, Phil, but unfortunately I couldn't identify because I don't recognise your name. Welcome to Apex Online Racing. Shame that it's gone this way for you. But just at the same time you dropped, Alti joined, so the number didn't change. I couldn't identify who we'd lost. A great shame. A great shame, but you're welcome, of course, in the stream. So now the LMP180s have, due to Borderline's rather dramatic moment, have separated themselves. Let's have a look at how our GTEs are doing. Zenny has got 3.8 seconds over Zhao King, who was in a great, intense battle with the Corvettes, or with his Corvette brethren early on. 5.3 separates himself to Ping Too High, but File Dark is right there in the next Corvette. That's third and fourth in clients. Dawu, starting from the back of the field, now in fifth. Andrex, due to the misadventures of others, is up to sixth now in that M6. Is he gaining on the Corvette? Not particularly. He's keeping pace with it. And there's the next pair in line. So that is Ping Too High and File Dark that they're catching up to. Now, of course, there's still over 2 hours to do. Not long started. So these guys have a long way to go. And if you look, you're just about seeing the rearview mirror, but we'll switch to the outside shot anyway. They've Migzorn is right there as well on the back. Oh, is there a bit of a move between? There is indeed. File Dark going through to take that third position before they get to the chicane. Can he slow it down? He does indeed. Maintains his marks. Now Dawu is in position. Look at that. You can see the exclamation marks. So in case someone is within 1.2 seconds of the car ahead. And that is what it looks like. Look at those glaring yellow lights streaming on down the Honadier towards the Mulsanne. That battle has got some legs on it yet, I suspect. But it's so easy, as I was my co-commentator for the Endurance League doc was alluding to. Oh, Andrex has had a good run off of the Mulsanne. My co-commentator of the Endurance League doc was explaining, whilst it is very easy to kind of get into race mode, it's not going to earn you too much, although it is circumstantial. Sometimes you do need to kind of race the guys around you. You're not going to pass up the opportunity to try and get a pass done, but you've got to bear in mind that you are in this car for a long time. Oh, and there we go, Andrex backed out of that, which was the safer move to do. We've seen an incident already up here at Indianapolis. Speaking of which, where is Ripper? Interesting, he's actually in a battle with Alti and TPW. Oh, he's probably been in the pits and he's joined them because they're quite a long way. So, oh no, my G0 Stefan was the one on the lead. Oh, that's a slowdown warning. That's a slowdown penalty for Alti. A little bit wide somewhere through the Indianapolis section. Jumping back up to Andrex and Dawu. That's for 5th position. That pack has split up somewhat. That M6, he can't do anything with the pace that he's got there. And again, looking on the inside of the black Corvette, Dawu and Andrex have crossed swords many, many times in endurance. Wow, what a drive through the Corvette curves for the Corvette. That was a stunning exit there. And then Andrex just closes him right down under braking. And that has given Dawu a complete face full of ping too high. So we did have this group of 5 very, very close together. It spread out a little bit, but not too much. We go on the next camera chase there. So, well, that's 4 of them. And Dalking is not too far in front of them. Well, there is Dalking. So that's how that block of 5 have spread out. Ford just falling off the back of Miggs. Although he only lost 6/10 in that last lap. Ping too high actually lost 2 seconds in that exchange. So GTE times are fairly close together, but look at the top 2 of the L&P ones. 3:13 and 3:14 compared to 3:19 and slower. Wow, what an incredible pace. Operator still nailed to the back of Apex. Now the KERS, the battery pack indicator, does not work properly. No, Phil. No. A PT crash, a game technical failure, will not be held against you. If you didn't turn up and didn't tell anybody, that's the sort of thing that gets you in trouble. But technical difficulties is something outside of your control. It's not held against you. We basically wish you luck for the next event. Yet again, Andrex on the back of Ping too high this time, so the Corvettes have swapped round. This is still a battle for 5th position. He draws alongside the blue Corvette. Has nosed ahead. You can see the blue and black Corvette in the mirror there. And the Ping too high slots behind Andrex. Thinks about the move on the inside of the second chicane. Oops. They're locking up there from Dawu. Now Andrex. Oh, Ping too high gets a little bit. Wandered a bit too wide on the exit of that chicane. Wow, Andrex has some incredible pace. Oh, it was your first race in AOR. What a great shame. A shame that it ended so. But welcome to AOR nonetheless. We hope to see you camera side soon. If you're interested in the Endurance League, the sign up for that is still open. Or has been reopened, I should say. So please feel free to have a look. Sign up, get involved. You may have crazy lunatics like me shouting about your on-track antics. I do cover the PC races and we go on for quite a number of things Project Cars do actually, so you'll find me in the combox for. Andrex does not want to let Dawu go, and look at that, that's Dalking on the back of Filedarg. Oh no! That's no longer Dalking on the back of Filedarg as he's wandered off at Indianapolis. So he's gone down to 6th now. Slots in behind Ping too high with Mixon right on his tail. So that's gifted 3rd and 4th to Dawu and Andrex respectively. And 5th to Ping too high, of course. So there you see Filedarg, Dawu and Andrex in that order. 2nd, 3rd and 4th in class. But wow, Zenny is 11.6 ahead on that battle. You could have... Maybe that's the secret to Zenny's speed. He didn't paint the car. The paint makes all the difference. It's certainly making a difference to Zenny. What was his fuel amount? No, fuel amount's about on par with everybody else. I wondered if he'd underfueled. Andrews is a little heavier than the rest. He's on 71 litres on his car, where it seems to be around about 65, 61, 61. Coming through the forward curves again. Oh, is that the race leaders? It is. The race leaders now cutting up to... Oh, was Andrews in trouble? No, I thought there was a position there. Big up. So now the race leaders, the LMPs, are coming onto the back of the GTEs. Now, standard endurance rules for AOR is as follows. When you are... That's very deep, coming through the Dunlop chicane. Now, for the car that is the quicker of the two, of course, is the LMPs. Operating game, quite a significant chunk of time there. Now, for the faster car, it is up to them to make their way around the GTEs. GTEs do not have to... Oh, we just actually saw in the distance of that shot, Andrex get past Darwin. Wow, that was committed from Apex. Wow. There goes Operator. That's kind of more the move I was expecting, but Apex leaping in between the Corvette and the Ford. Corvette and the BMW, big pardon. Look at that speed difference Darwin has over Andrex. That's going to be a pretty simple move from the Corvette, unless Andrex has an amazing defensive maneuver, which he does not. He recognises that one is done. And Darwin slots back up into third place. Now, as I was saying, it is up to the faster car to pass their way, make their way past the GTEs. The GTEs hold their line, they do not deviate from their line, they just kind of mind their own business essentially. So that it makes their moves far more predictable for the LMPs to predict. King thinking about a little ping too high. You had to think about it, but opted not to go for that dive on the inside of that chicane. There's Mixor, only 1.6 down from them, so a mistake will cost them another spot to them. And you can see the distance of that shot where the rest of the GTE field is. A fair significant chunk of it. Interesting, the top three all in 317s for LMPs. Hamish has had a problem somewhere with 338. He finds himself a pretty lonely existence, 30 seconds off the back of Nunu, 4.7 ahead of that. There is that screaming Toyota. Borderline hasn't managed to close, he's closed in a little bit on the back of the Toyota. He gained about just under 2 seconds last time around after that spin he had. There is the Toyota at the top of the shot. Either way then, AOR Apex from now 3.2 as Ping Too High has just lost that position to Dalking coming up to Indianapolis. Dalking on a bit of a recovery after throwing his car into the dust a lap or so ago. Andrew is still on the back of Dawu. That looks set to carry on for quite some time. Is that really? It is. That two-way duel is about to become a three-way dance very soon. That's File Diag. File Darg. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that. That's what I'm going with. That must be so frustrating for Andrex because he's got. You can see, looks like he's. Oh, wow! He would look like he was going to try and move on the exit of the Corvette curves. So the BMW's got far greater cornering efficiency than the Corvette. The Corvette has just got that straight line speed advantage. The cornering efficiency isn't going to, over the long run, help Andrex to a massive amount, but he's making it work brilliantly well. Having the greater cornering efficiency isn't helping him enough. In the slipstream, it is not giving Andrex enough to come past the Corvette. Now, yes, the BMW is slightly heavier, we already identified, by about 10 litres. So it's actually a fairly significant amount of fuel between the pair of them. That'll be Nunu coming in behind them. So this is what it looks like from the lapping car. This is why you need the GTEs to behave themselves. You need them to be predictable on the move they're going to do, because you are flying up behind them. Oh, no. That's what Dirty Air does. Now, either Nunu tried to hit the brakes. Oh, that's a big old chunk of damage. There's Capo, the Ferrari. Where is Hamish? Hamish will notice that gap is dramatically dropping. Yeah, I think he's just taking it a bit easier. He's 31s at the moment, so either he's getting kind of caught out in the traffic, or he's being quite cautious with that Audi, which is absolutely fine. It's not often we see Hamish in these endurance events, so you don't want to do anything silly. You want to bring the car home. There is TJ Gamer that has closed it down in the Toyota. Steady, Hamish. Nunu is, of course, going again. There's Capo actually keeping up with the Audi on the Mulsanne, on the Hanardi, I should say. Oh, that's another penalty on the board. 3 seconds for Dalking, 1 for King-Kodiak, and 2 for Andres. We saw that one earlier. Now, it's going to be a little awkward for Nunu. He does wait for his normal pit stop. Anyway, he's about halfway through his tank now. Well, slightly over, it's about a 50-litre tank. Oh, no, that's not how. That's Big Zorn has done that. That's has he had a problem with King-Kodiak? Because the Corvette's pulled over. Nunu goes past them. Oh dear, looks like both of these cars might have had trouble there on that second chicane. Whether that's as an incident with between themselves or completely independent, we don't know. We didn't see. Oh, this battle's getting interesting. It's become the three-way battle I thought it would. That's File Dark that is directly ahead of Darwood. Oh, that's a face full of sunshine. That's wonderful. Now, bearing in mind what I said earlier, the weather will be changing. There goes Darwood looking to make a move. No, he opts not to. It's a very, very fast section on track there. Very easy to throw it off into the dust. You lose an insane amount of time if you make a mistake through there. We've seen accidents already happen, but with the weather, it's really going to shake things up, and Hamish has let that position go. TJ Gamer has gone through into that 4th place in the Toyota. Nunu in trouble. Oh, that's the Corvette jumping over the Apex Barnage. So he's lost a couple of seconds already on TJ Gamer. Oh dear, that's Hamish getting slightly caught up with a Porsche coming through Indianapolis, unfortunately. That's a little bit just unfortunate timing of catching up with a car to try and get a lap on them. He's just got to wait, basically. There's nothing he can do. The GT is not obliged to jump off track to get out of the way. Is that they pick? No. I was borderline that circuit. And the rain is falling. That's a lot earlier than I thought it was going to be. Now, this is going to be interesting. This is probably Nunu might chance. Oh, we're starting to see more penalties coming up as the track's starting to get really, really slippery. Who's just got one now? File Diag has just got a penalty on the board. This 3 still continuing. And Nunu has brought his car in now. That's going to be awkward, because if he comes onto the wets now, it's way, way too early. There's nowhere near enough water on the ground. But he obviously feels safer to bring the car in, get the repairs sorted out now, than chance just pushing on until his normal pit stop window. There comes Hamish. Whoop, a little bit of wheel spin. The exit of the 4 chicanes. And has got borderline in hot pursuit as well. Sunny. Minding his own business out there in the lead of the GTEs. No such luck for Andres. Of course, Andres has just had a face full of dirty air for quite a long time, so his tyres could well be chewed. So having the rain come earlier will be quite a blessing for those that have been stuck in that dirty air for a long time. Nunu would have wanted to have gone on a bit longer, but he felt the need to bring that car in now with that mistake that he made coming through the S's last time around. There we go. That's. Why did you stop your windscreen wiper there, Hamish? You can hear how heavy the rain is starting to fall. Now, we're not going to start seeing spray coming off the tyres for a while yet, but the track is going to get very, very slippery. This is really early. I honestly thought this was going to be much, much later. But that is the nature of the sort of live weather system in this game. There is no set time. You put in 3 weather slots, it's not just going to divide the race time by 4. So we're going from dry to wet to dry, so 3 weather slots in this, 2 weather transitions, I should say. And we have done barely half an hour since the parade lap began. The rain is here. So this could go on until 10 laps of the race. It could last for 10 laps. Nobody knows. That is the point of this. Can I just see? No, I can't. I thought I saw a mark on TJ Gamer there. But no, I was a little bit deceived. Daru on the back of 5. It looks like Andrex has fallen off the back of that particular battle at the moment. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if far more penalties come on the board just because. It looks like Borderline's getting close to Hamish. That is for 4th in class. There's Daru on his fellow Corvette brethren. Daru will be aware that King-Kodiak has a time penalty, but 2 seconds over 2.5 hours is not really anything to worry about. The rain stopped. No, it is still there, but it's very, very, very light. I think it's there. Oh yeah, it is there. I had to really look for it then. I can't. I'd be very surprised if it just lasted a lap. Nunu is back on track. He's of course now in 6th and last in class. Borderline is catching up to Hamish, who's got Andrex right ahead of him. Oh, that's a really unfortunate place to catch up with someone. You can see from Borderline's perspective, Hamish has just got to wait there or risk throwing the car on the inside. Andrex does not have to let him or indeed any of the LMPs go. And Hamish doing the sensible thing. He is waiting for an opportunity, and that's allowed Borderline to get right on his tail. And now Hamish will fly past the BMW. Nope. There he goes. So waited for the best time to do it. Absolutely fine. And now Borderline's going to get stuck because they've now come into the forward curves, and Borderline's hanging back, I think. Borderline has been very, very cautious with that car, especially if the track gets getting slippery. That is absolutely fine. Pink Too High has got itself a battle with Migzorn, so the Ford on the Corvette there. Goodness me. Looking at the top 2, they are only separated, so that's the top 2. That's about 2.2 seconds between the pair, and there's nearly 2 minutes. There is about 1 3/4 minutes back between operator and TJ Game. On the map, that's what it looks like. Of course, all the blue dots signify a car, a lap or more behind you. So, where is TJ Gamer? He's there. He's just come onto the Hanardia. That's pretty near as damn it half a lap. It's a pretty damn long way here at the moment. Whatever setups that Apex and Operator are running, it is working brilliantly well. However, will it work well in the wet? That is going to be the big question. And if the wet forms a very significant chunk of this race, you can't necessarily count on these two continuing to run off into the distance. Equally, those that may be a little bit slower in their current setups could come absolutely alive during the wet weather. Oh, lots and lots of unknowns. Oh, he's got his name on the penalty board. Naughty board. What have you done? That's the second to you. Let's have a quick rundown then to see who is where. As you can see here, that's Apex and Operator separated by very little. Less than 2 seconds between the two. 1 hour 47.5 remaining of this race. A long way to go. TJ Gamer, the only Toyota in the LMP field, finds himself on the back of Zenny, stinky white Porsche. Flash of the lights to indicate that I am lapping you, please allow me through, is absolutely fine. That is the correct use of the lights. Not entirely necessary in a multi-class event. That's more for if you're in for the same class, but it's still the correct use of the lights. Fourth is Hamish Upwith, who has got Borderline for company. There are those two separated by less than a second. As they stream on down towards Arnage and Indianapolis. It's quite a tight line coming into that complex. But what he's aiming for there, and it's quite sensible as well, to get the car as straight as possible, as quickly as you can. That's why he went for a very, not a cut, just to, instead of a wider line to come back across to the right hand side, he wants to get to the right hand side as quick as possible, especially with the wet weather now falling. You can start to see that kind of misty effect. That's the rain getting heavier. That's Hamish and Borderline then, 4th and 5th. Nunu, who has been through the bits. Oh, who's got himself an absolute fail. That's Darwoon and Filedog. Ooh, there's a nice battle there. That's the second in the GTE class. The LMP's got through it. And Darwoo's had to remain behind Nunu. Oh, that got rather interesting. So Nunu's been through the pits after a spin a few laps ago, coming through the S's. See his car now back in fighting form. We assume he's not on wet tyres. We can't tell. There's no way to tell externally what is our lead of the GTEs. Is Zenny in that plain white Porsche. Second is Filedog in the Corvette being chased by Darwoon. No one else coming into the pits. You can see the clouds beginning to gather. Okay, that's a slightly unusual line. Who was that? Is that Nunu? That's a very unusual line, Nunu. What I suspect is that Nunu either caught a little bit of moisture or just... I don't really know how he managed that. How on earth did he end up over there? Well, that's not the ideal way of coming through the Ford curves. However, he managed it, so... Whoa, that's dangerous! Whoa, he was determined to get through there. He was hoping to be able to get through both the Corvettes. You could see how much that actually put Filedog completely out of his stride. There was no impact there. There might be a few words said about that. But there was no impact there as those two Corvettes now swap around. Darwood finally gets up into that second place. And there you see the M6 of Andrex catching up to them. So that's second, third and fourth in the GTEs. Andrex in the M6 minding his own business. As darkness begins to descend, you can see the light effect having, or the lights having much more of an effect. There is Dow King, 13 seconds down from Andrex, very much minding his own business. There in 5th, 6th position is Painty High with the company of Migzorn, Corvette and Ford respectively. I was just thinking there's Capo in the Ferrari there somewhere, and there he is, side by side with the Ford on the Hanadier. And the Ford just nudges ahead of the... the Ferrari nudges ahead of the Ford. And Zero Stefan is in again. Oh, the Ford just having a little bit more straight line speed than the Ferrari. Oh, that's still side by side. I know the Ferrari slots in behind the Ford at the moment. That battle continues. Ticklish Bickle, TBW in. That's how quickly the Audis close in. Is that race leader? That's race leader Apex. We just caught that Porsche as they were coming into that first chicane. That's going to allow operator to get right in on them. That's the Porsche of TBW flying backwards from these two, but that has allowed Apex right in there. The Ripper was started very, very well. Had a huge incident at Indianapolis early in the race. Big crash, and has put him right down there in 10th. Alti joined the session very late. He's also in the Corvette, and Zero Stefan has been in the pits again and is now coming out. He may well have opted to take the wet tyres on now. I still think that would be too early to do so because there's no standing water anywhere. Look at that. That's 316s by our lead pair. 328 by the next car down the road. That's TJ Gamer in the Toyota. Amazing pace by our lead two, and they've been separated by no more than about 2.5 to 3 seconds all race long. Operator was our pole man, and flash of lights to indicate he is there. That's far more effective in the darker moments. Sounds a little bit obvious, but you still flash your lights anyway. But you just kind of get, there's more light effect when it's dark. That's what it looks like for THL operator. He of course has had to carry. Oh, and that's where the road's starting to get slippery on the exit of Indianapolis. Oh, bit of wheel spin there, you heard, as he gets underway. It's one of the Corvettes. Flash of the lights to let you know I'm there. He will see you in the mirrors, but there's no harm in a flash of the lights anyway. That's Andrex, Daru, and Filedog. Because Andrex has been chasing Darby all race long. That's second, third, and fourth in GTEs. And in comes King-Kodiak. Interesting. Is he opting for the wet weather tyres now? Still too early. Well, I reckon it's too early. I'm by no means an expert. Here comes the pit crew. You had plenty of fuel on board. Speaking of which, I was just thinking, surely the leaders are going to be in soon. And indeed, here they are. Right on cue. Ain't no way you're going to get around a whole lap with 1.1 or 2.6 litres still in the tank. So Apex and Operator come in. CJ Gamer won't have to. As you can see, he still has 13 litres of fuel on board. And King-Kodiak is in. And, several people coming in. So it looks like people are opting for the wet tyres. I wouldn't expect to see the GTEs coming in now. So King-Kodiak is in. Dow King is in. And Migzorn is in. That's Capo on the back of Painty High. They have opted to continue, and I think that's probably the wiser decision to do at the moment. This is really where the strategy and the kind of guesswork or risk-taking comes more into it. As the rain falls, how well will your slick tyres hold? Someone else is coming. Ulti's in. TBW's in. 5 of our 12 GTEs are in, and Apex has come out. Where's Operator? Wow, Operator lost out badly. He's got a Corvette straight in his face as well. Apex got underway, and Apex had less fuel on board as well. Full tank. Unsurprisingly, I would think they've taken the wet tyres on now. That may have been out of necessity than outright choice. There is Operator now 3. That's probably the first time it's been over 3 seconds, that gap, all race long. Out comes Migzorn. Dow King right with him. Ripper is in. So therefore King-Kodiak, there he is. He has come out. Let's see how his times are proved. That's not a happy looking Porsche. You've had an argument with something fairly solid, I'd say. What's Ulti's car looking like? Ulti's looks okay. The Ripper, I don't think he's had another instance since that early spin he had. Of course, Zero Stefan has been in the pit already. Well, that's the CJ Gamer coming up behind him. And in comes the Toyota. Now, the Toyota could have gone on longer, but TJ has opted to bring his car in now. The Ripper is there a long time, so assuming there to be additional damage on his car. Quite a few have pitted now, but of course we won't know if anyone is pitting for tyres. They look exactly the same from our side. That's how the lead looks now. 2.8 seconds before the braking zone. And Borderline's come in. Borderline had a fairly empty tank, just 5.3. Could have done one more, but wasn't going to choose it. I'm assuming Sobwith is coming in. Yes, he is. Only 2.5 litres on his fuel tank. But of course, the question comes, do I put wet weather tyres on? Yes, we keep going on about it. But of course, the wet weather has come to rather, and you're going to kill someone's pit crew there, Hamish. It wasn't his pit crew he was aiming for. Is Hamish going to stop? Oh dear. Hamish might have actually missed his pit stop. Well, you're going to have to crawl for the next lap, because I'm not really too sure you're going to make it round with 2.5 litres on there, I'm afraid, Mr. Hamish. You can see how ginger he's being with the throttle. It's one of these things that is so easy to do. Nunu gets underway. Borderline's been in there a while. Daru is in. That'll surely be a tyre change. 25 litres still in the Corvette. A lot of people are opting to get onto those wets. I'm assuming that's what they're doing. Wow, Operator is on the move again. He's closed that gap down to 1.2. There's of course a Corvette there, so they could have been aided by the traffic. As they come through the Forge Chicanes again. Now they're going to start hitting the kind of Aha! They're on the wet tyres. They're now doing the 4-minute times. I'll mind you, that's their outlap, so no, that's not indicative of the damn thing. Ping Too High is in, along with Daru, who's come in before. Andrex is continuing his merry way in second in class. Whoa, hello! Operator on the tail of Apex. That's for the lead. Now, with the way these cars are sticking, how long the rain's been falling for, and it's obviously much colder, it would look like that Operator's got the advantage in these drier conditions. Dry conditions, good grief. He could well have got the pit crew bug there, Lindholtz. Impossible to tell. Could have been someone already in the pit box here that his game told him to be in. We don't know that from a spectator standpoint. How is he doing fuel-wise? 1.2. Yeah, I'm not surprised he's going to do that. He's going to be absolutely crawling. He's got 1 litre left. He can use his hybrid engine to kind of propel him without petrol. So that's going to be very awkward. A litre from... That seems impossible to me to get from the Lausanne corner all the way around with less than a litre. Seems impossible. Well, I've been proven wrong on such matters before. Capo comes in. Coming in or coming out? I think he's going out because he's got a decent... Yeah, he must be because he's got 83 litres. Along with Ping Too High, so the Corvette and the Ferrari come back out on track. Ulti and TBW are close together. They've already been through the pits. Continue that as Dalking is... Oh dear. Dalking has had an argument with something very solid. He's already been in, so that's the second time in a few laps that he has been through the pits. Operator is still on the back of Apex. So we could well be seeing a change of lead soon. Nunu. Give Hamish a push, would you, Nunu? 0.4 of a litre. He's oh, wrong one. That's... Yeah, he's jumped out of the way. No. Oh no, Hamish, no! Didn't have to do it that much. Of course, he's on dead dry tyres, isn't he? So he probably couldn't grip any more than that. That's going to be a task. That's 0.3 of a litre between Arnage and home. And TJ brings his car in. Was he not that long ago? Interesting, the Toyota comes in again. You can see he's got 57 litres on, so he's not long been in. Ulti and TBW continue their battle. Oh, Hamish. We're not looking, mate. 0.1 of a litre. We're not watching you, mate, honestly. Up, and there we go. He has officially run out of fuel. He is on 0, and throttle is gone. It looks like, by the way he's trundling... Oh, he made it all the way to the pit entrance! No! And that is Hamish's day done. That is tragic. He made it all the way to the pit lane entrance. As Andrex, he actually got into the lead of the GTEs, I just realised. Senni is in. Oh, Hamish. That is a shame. A great, great shame. I think you got a little bit con there. There's a lot of pit crews out there, so it could be that. And yep, he has retired. So hopefully he'll be joining me soon in the com box. Down to just 5 LMPs. There goes Zenny in the GTE. We will resume the lead of the GTEs, of course. Andrex will probably be in there a while. He's got a full tank of fuel on board. There goes Darwin to go through into second position. Where is File Diag? There he is. Oh, that's a very weird graphical glitch I got going on there. Apologies for that. Oh, and Andrex is actually going to come out. Is he going to beat File Diag? It's going to be close. Yes, he does. You can see the Corvette coming down the road, and Andrex is now to third post pit stop. Very nice. penalty is with TBW. Now that, because the track is so wet now, that it makes these battles that much more interesting. You see the circuit getting very, very shiny, and wow, my game goes completely crackers there. There's a big party going on around the Forge Gates. And he was just like, damn it, if I can't drive, I got a party. He said, wow, look at the state of the front of that Porsche from TBW. Getting a bit of a slipstream off the back of the Porsche. Oh, TBW's not letting him have it though. Well, he's going to have to fight for that. That's for 8th in the GTE class. Look, that's how much spray is now coming off of the back of these cars. So anyone that isn't on wet tyres is going to be having a very, very bad day. Looking at Ripper and Dow King, they have had a pretty bad day. There is Dow King coming into the Porsche curbs. A bit wide coming through Tetra Rouge. Wow, that cost him quite a bit of time. Oh, didn't see it. Apex has indeed lost that lead. He's lost it by 14 seconds. Wow. Whatever setup difference that operator's running is doing him the world of good in the wet. So Apex will want that to dry up pretty damn soon. Where's Nunu? He's nearly 3 minutes behind the lead battle. I'm trying to judge whether they actually... I think that's actually... Is that Nunu? Oops, that's Nunu getting slightly out of shape coming through the S's. So actually on similar bits of track. So Operator has actually gone past Apex on track. As is again highlighted by the fact that everybody except for... Wow, that's my game going utterly bonkers around that. That's why we're seeing that weird lighting effect. Hello, Hamish. What happened? Well, we saw what happened, but how did it happen?
Oh, sorry, stay out again, Kodiak. We had.
I said hello to you. What happened? Like I say, we know what happened, but how?
Yeah, well, I came. I don't know if you saw. I came to pit, and I've never done a pit stop on Project Cars.
Oh dear.
I didn't know what to do, to be honest.
You missed your pit box.
Basically, but I was expecting it to light up red or something, but it didn't. A bunch of blokes came out, which I didn't think were for me. And I basically just did a drive-through. I had 2 litres of fuel, and
you, yeah, the chat was cheering you on, but we were hoping someone would give you a push, but no one was that charitable.
I actually got offered a push by one of the leading GT3 cars. I shout him out if I could. Zen offered me a push, but because he was coming to pits, it was down from Moortown Straight, and I thought I'd have enough room. It's just I don't know, a bit gutted really, because I had a load of aero damage, but I was easy P3 pace.
Interesting, he's lost the GT lead and he's had an argument with something. That's a very rearranged Porsche now, and he's been comfortably in the lead of GTEs all race long, and now he finds himself behind Darwin. So that's been a change for the GTE field. So this is something I was trying to surmise about, Hamish. How tricky was it getting? Because the rain came much earlier than I thought it would.
Honestly, very easy.
Okay.
I mean, I had no issues. I mean, I can see now the times of leaders are tumbling. Remember, what, 23s, so 23, 24s. I didn't have an issue. My car was badly affected by aero anyway, so I was only getting like 180 down the straight, so that probably helped me a bit, but I didn't find a huge difference. It was on when I came into the pits though, that was pretty much, that was a good time to come for wet tyres, so
okay.
Oh, we've got a spinner, new as Span on the Porsche curbs, big time. He's lost a huge amount of time, and it looks like his car might have even picked up some damage. He has driven straight past the pit, so it can't be that serious. He's got borderline right behind him, just trying to overtake a Corvette, as I was seeing, and he didn't quite manage to get that done. It was very difficult, actually, to overtake at parts of his track. Really, really tough, to be honest with you. The GT3 cars, they are going to stick to their line. They shouldn't move off their line to let you pass, otherwise there's just confusion. So it's up to you as the driver in the faster car to basically do a legitimate overtake, rather than like in Formula 1 where it's blue flags, because obviously there's no flag. So it's more charitable in that sense, that the GT cars decide not to hold you up. But yeah, traffic was a bit of an issue. I was certainly catching up to a few of the guys, even with my damage.
We've just had a GTE lead change. Zenny has retaken that lead from Dawu. Even with the damage on the front of that Porsche, he's managed to do quite a convincing move on the Corvette and retakes the GTE lead. But Operator is gone. We saw him slowly falling behind Apex to around 2.5 seconds in the dry phase, and since the rain has fallen, Operator is alive.
Yeah, absolutely. He is such a quick driver. He's phenomenal.
So on he goes. Not long being through the pits. Those guys having about 31 metres at pace, 17 seconds.
Okay. I might need to shoot off, which is why I keep going a little bit
yes,
quiet.
head on, Hamish, if you absolutely need to.
No, I definitely do not at the moment. So Borderline is doing pretty well. Yeah, New also had a bit of an argument with the barrier early. He overtook me and just I think he got so excited by overtaking me, as one should. He just crashed. I suppose amusing, but it's still, the lead is still very much up in the air. I mean, if Operator makes a mistake or something, then Apex is only 20 seconds behind. I mean, it might be that his Operator's engine needs fixing, so that'd be 20 seconds all in one.
Could well be. But I mean, Operator and Apex are a complete lap ahead of the rest of the remaining LMP1s, so they have incredible pace all race long. New best of the rest, but only 3.2 seconds ahead of Borderline. And TJ has been through the pit at least twice in that Toyota, so I'm not sure what's happened to him. Any indication what happened to TJ?
Oh, there's who's gone wide? Something or other has went wide.
Yeah.
has went wide. Ian Porsche has just been overtaken.
Yeah, that's Indianapolis, is it not? Yes, that's Arnage. He's just come through now. He managed to get TBW is now back on his case. That's battle for 7th in the GTEs.
Yes, sorry, Kodiak, what's your question?
Can't remember what it was now. To get into the flow, and it went. I can't remember what it was.
Absolutely. I mean, these endurance races are, in fact, Andrek's doing really well. Up in P8, he had a poor qualifying, I think. So, hats off to him in the BMW. Zen is in P6. Is he the lead? Oh no, he isn't. He is the lead.
He's the lead GTE. Yep. I can probably see that better on my interface than you can on yours, because you've got the retired to pit box interface on your screen at the moment, haven't you?
Yeah, I have indeed. Although he's only got one working light, which I must admit is
he's got
really,
two
really. Oh, has he? Oh, he's got. Oh, that's okay. Is his car? Well, his car's damaged for me.
Yeah, his car's damaged for me, but he has. I think he's been in the pits since whatever that is.
Okay.
Now,
I must admit, it's really tough when you've only got to drive with one working light. It's not like something like a mandatory pit stop or anything, but it makes it really difficult to judge if it's a left side car or the right hand side.
Oh, that's Capo. Oh dear, is that TJ? TJ's going very slow. He might have had a slowdown warning coming through the Dunlop curve up to the Dunlop chicane. He's suddenly let all those GTEs through. So he's really struggling in the wet in that Toyota. TBW has Capo that's right in amongst that particular gaggle as well. yeah, operator is very, very much quicker than the rest of the field at the moment. Ooh,
Yeah,
TBW, that's close.
He's really showing his pace and experience at the moment. Although over times it fluctuates quite a lot as they go down the straight. But yeah, he's obviously done a lot of practice. He's one of the quickest guys in the world in terms of time trials. In fact, I think he is number 1 in the world in terms of time trials.
Oh yeah, now you've mentioned that. I have seen his name quite a few times on the time trial board. Yeah, now you mentioned that.
Yeah, he is he's obviously a very quick driver. I presume he's not in any of the GTE leagues or anything.
He's not a name I recognise, so no.
So yeah. I mean, we'll have to...
This is where I find out. Like, I commented on 3 wins of his already. No, I'm sorry. I have done that once before. So, commented on the person. I'm not sure I recognise this name, and then this same person is like, "You commentated me on a full season." Oops.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, well, the amount of people you commentated Kodiak is,
one or two.
Yeah, just a couple. Well, a couple of thousand maybe. So
it was quite that many, but
great to race with Borderline, though. I must admit, we've obviously done a few events with him. This is the first. He didn't do Indy because he was at a friend's. But it was great. Me and Borderline had a small little scrap at the beginning, and also as I got damage, I think I was a little bit quicker, and he was able to close in. So
DBW's off. Sorry, Hamish. I'm forever doing that. Forever just cutting you off mid-play.
You're the commentator. I'm not meant to be commentating, Kodiak. I'm very much spoiling your fun.
You're always welcome, you know that. A few questions in chat. Do they switch seats or do they drive the whole time? No, there's no driver changes in Project Cars. No mechanism for doing so. So,
sorry, Kodiak. On that very topic, when you go to select strategy, you can do something called a driver swap. I'm not sure if that just means it gets taken over by the AI, but apparently you do have that option.
Interesting that we've never tried it in AOR. Oh, DBW, that's deep at Indianapolis. Yeah, we never actually tried that in PCARS 2, or not that I'm ever aware of. Certainly none of the endurance stuff I've commentated on. AWA's never done a 24-hour of Le Mans in Project Cars 2, so I don't know if that kind of thing is possible. I think
it is for that I'm sure it is for that reason, Kodiak.
It becomes an AI car. Yeah, that would make sense. But I mean, R Factor 2 and iRacing are the only 2 simulators I know of off the top of my head that have a properly well-tested and well-working driver swap function within.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, but yeah, very much. Hence the reason it's 2.4 hours, 1 hour 18 minutes left. I must admit, even though I went out very early, it's still one of the longest races I've done.
Feel proud.
I must admit, I didn't do tons of practice for this. I didn't do with other commitments. I didn't do as much as I'd like to. But I did a fair few. I was able to get down to it's a nice little overtake with TPW around the outside of Ferrari coming into the final couple of chicanes, and that is move done on Cap. So awesome job by him. Next up is I'm sorry about the names. I really don't know anyone in this lobby.
Because that's all they appeal as to you. You only have the 3-letter abbreviation, of course.
I'm going to call it. Well, I know Andrex, but I'm going to call it PIN MiG, like the MiG-5. The Russian airplane, incredible.
That would be MiG-Zorn in the Ford, who has lost that spot to Ping Too High in the Corvette. They had a brief scrap there. Yep, TPW and Capo. Capo getting very. Go on.
New and Borderline are very, very close indeed. In fact, they're both down the Morzan Straight, about under a second. The slipstream's fantastic round here. I made a pretty solid move on someone earlier. Now, these guys got to be careful not to run into the back of one another. It is so easy to kind of get... It's sort of mesmerised by the track, and you kind of just forget where you are, and you just... you just forget where you are.
You get that much in the zone.
You really do. I mean, I miss my braking point. You miss it by 100 meters, because if you miss, you rely on the markers so much because the track's changing, the shadows are changing. These guys are coming up on a GT3 car, GTE car, as well, which are GT3 cars. They are the same thing, just with an endurance fuel tank. So you can see you get New getting very close, but TPW following in suit. I must admit, I hate overtaking through a corner. Now, I know Borderline's very hesitant to overtake round here because he didn't try anything on me, although he's potentially being a bit more aggressive. Please don't go up the inside that particular complex. Borderline going a little bit wide. No, but he managed to bring it back. It might have just been deceptive from the camera.
Either that or he was a little bit... He lost a bit of traction, I think, coming... Oh, dear. No, that's not how you do Arnage. He could have lost a bit of traction in the wet coming into Indianapolis, just kind of unsettled the car. So he took it a bit more gently to bring that car back under control. He knows he's... Well, it looks like he's got the pace on Nunu at the moment. So he's looking to... He doesn't have to push too hard. He's not looking to make any silly mistakes. As we are fast approaching the halfway stage, an hour and 15 remaining. Oops, that's a little bit scruffy through the Corvette curve from Borderline. So how much do you, I mean, if you catch someone in slipstream in one of the LMP1Hs, say on the on the Molzap, how much do you realistically gain?
Realistically, probably about 2 seconds or so across the both sections. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you have to account for when you actually overtake, you're no longer gaining slipstream. If it was a constant thing, it would probably about 3 seconds per half chicane. Per half straight, if you know what I mean, because obviously
it's really quite significant.
It is huge. It's a case of the difference of about 200 to 210, and especially when you run out of boost, it really pulls the car along. You can probably get 215, 220 with boost.
Yeah, lack of boost in these LMP1Hs hurts quite considerably.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
that's too wide. That's way too wide on Tetra Rouge.
He's pushing very hard, obviously.
But how much does the dirty air affect your cornering efficiency?
I didn't notice it too much, to be honest, Kodiak. But then I was never close enough to someone. But I don't think it's a massive. These LMP1 cars, because they're fairly smooth aerodynamics and stuff, it punches. If anything, I'd say you probably get a little bit quicker.
Okie dokie. I mean, we saw Andrex following Darwood for quite a long time earlier in the race. They're about 5 seconds apart, or just under. So it didn't look like Andrex was struggling to keep that BMW under control. Would the GTEs notice the dirty air more? I would assume so, because they... Oh, speaking of which, never mind that. Borderline's just absolutely flown past. Nunu's not letting him have it, though. Wow, Borderline was very, very cautious coming through that chicane. He had a hell of a rate of knots difference coming into that chicane, and Nunu quite successfully defended it. He's now having another go, side by side on the Henardier, and now gets the move done, but is Nunu going to fly past him? It's well before the braking zone. And no, wow, Borderline already had half a second before he completed the corner, but he's gone a little bit too deep. Oh, look at the amount of spray you get. I mean, are you still using the T-cam?
Yeah, I would still be... oh, I see, hang on.
The one on the roof.
Yeah, it is horrific.
That's a lot of spray. That's a lot of spray.
You're almost tempted to go out of a slipstream down the straights just so you don't actually get, or at least in the sort of smaller corners where you're not going to get much of an effect. Like here, for example, I'd almost be tempted to go out of the slipstream. With New they both make mistakes. Yeah. Obviously, conditions getting harder and harder. Coming into the second half of this race, though, the track will slowly start to dry out, and the sun will slowly start to come out. At the moment, it's only 66 degrees Fahrenheit. I imagine I imagine it'll warm up again as we get back into day. So yeah.
But that also depends on when the rain's going to stop. Obviously, it's very cold, so all the standing water is not going to go anywhere in a hurry. And if the rain carries on well back into the daylight hours, then that water's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. The leader operator is going to be coming into the pits fairly soon. He's got about 3 laps of fuel on board. I'm not sure if you have that available to you as well, Kodiak.
Yeah, he's got about
So you
14
can see
litres
litres.
on, yeah.
Yeah, so about, I don't know, about 4 or so per lap for the LMP cars. I'm not entirely sure about the GTE cars, to be honest with you.
But they've got much bigger tanks, so we shouldn't be seeing them in as often. They came in relatively early for the wet tyres. They all had around about 25 litres still on board when they came in for their respective stops.
Yeah, I mean, the LMP1 cars with the extra downforce, it very much means that they are better in the wet than the GTE cars. So you notice it a lot more in the GTE cars. And the GTE cars, I remember, pick up an awful lot of spray from when I was in the GT3 leagues.
Nunu and Borderline yet again. They've just swapped position again. Because Borderline fairly slow coming through Tetra Rouge. And these two, oh, look at that. Borderline just jumping straight past Nunu again. Do you know if Nunu's got damage on his car still? Did you hear? I don't suppose you heard anything about that in Discord.
I'm not entirely, unless he's made another pit stop. I would think he has got some form of damage on the car. Only from when I saw him earlier, but he might not. I'm not quite sure.
That's fair enough. Oh, Ripper is not only in a very angry-looking Corvette, but he's on the back of Zero Stefan. Oh, that's a lot of understeer coming through Arnage. Nunu is still on the back of Borderline coming through that second chicane. Question in the chat I spotted earlier on, but I meant to answer it earlier on, but as me and Hamish tend to do, we ended up nattering about something completely different. There was a question about the Ginetta GT5 League. I will be actually involved in that, and I am going to be a driver this time. I don't get many opportunities to drive in the leagues. Well, technically I could drive in any of the leagues that AOR does, but I've said many a time, and I'll repeat it again, I know where my talent lies, and it's not behind the wheel, it's most certainly in the commentary box. And anyone that has seen any of my driving videos, okay, they're daft challenges as well, I grant you that, but anyone that's seen any of those will testify, and Hamish can certainly testify because he's been in most of them, that I'm much more comfortable behind the mic than the wheel, but I am giving it a try. It's a default league. The sign-ups are closed for those this Friday, and the league is due to start on Wednesday. So I believe it's Sulaventus and Fistopheles that's going to be covering the PC side. It's going to be Chess Games, and Aiden, I think, is covering the Xbox One. Oh, that's close, Ripper! That's exceedingly close coming into Dunlop. Wow, that was a bit of a scary moment. And Evil Dragon is covering the PS4 side of that league.
Yeah, I mean, we did some laps around Knockhill the other day. I know it's nothing to do with this, but and it's pretty good fun. I'm not doing GT5 League because I don't like committing myself to League. It's only 4 rounds, to be fair. Although we might have an overtake coming up with New and Borderline Codex, so keep an eye on that. You know, I don't like committing myself to something I don't know if I'll be able to do. And New has came into the pit.
Interesting. He's still got 15 laps on board. So, yeah, this kind of comes back to, does he have damage again? Because he has been really struggling to keep up with Borderline. Nothing obvious on the car, but from a spectator standpoint, it's nearly impossible to see.
Can you see where he's coming in now? The same thing happened to me, but they came out really late, so I didn't think that was mine.
In fairness, when I was actually on board with you when you came in, and the person I think was supposed to be indicating to you came out almost when you were next to them. So I can understand the confusion there. There was usually a green square on the floor. And
there wasn't for me, no. I mean,
it's
a bit annoying.
Yeah, the chat did surmise whether that was going to be a pit crew bug, and new tyres going on Nunu's car. Ah, okay. Away he goes then, spinning the rears to death. So, full 50 litres on that Audi. New tyres as well. So TJ in the Toyota continues.
Oh, he's in Toyota. Oh, that's an interesting choice. Oh, wow, that sounds very different. Oh, but just the engine.
Just a tad. Zero, Stefan and the Ripper have swapped position. We were watching them and getting very, very close. We're on the two Corvettes, swapping that 10th place. And Capo and TPW aren't too far apart. I think Capo's just made a mistake at the Mulsanne and has lost a couple of seconds on the back of the Porsche. So that Ferrari is very much on its own now. Zero, Stefan still on the tail of the Ripper, but the Ripper has most certainly been the quicker of that particular pair of Corvettes.
Apex is very much setting similar lap times to the lead operator at the moment, and Borderline and TJ are set virtually identical lap times
within half a second.
Yeah. So that's pretty close at the moment. You've also got Zen, who's a number of seconds quicker than the next GT3 driver, but then you have TX3, Andrex, and final
Darwu was 2. Oh, DAR is File Darg.
File Darg, right? Okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at all the right. So TX3, Andrex, and Failed Darg are all very much within the they're taking the same lap.
Oh wow, Zero Stefan, that got. It looked like as he hit the brakes to come into the Porsche curves, the tail just pitched on him. It looked like that. Oops, yeah, he's struggling to get that car under control as he's just wandered off the road coming through the Porsche curves. So there's either damage or something is not quite right in the setup of that car. As that car is very, very, very loose. So that's always the danger, isn't it? Is when you've got these kinds of mixed, not just mixed class events, but mixed weather events as well. How do you set the car up? Do you go for a wet weather setup? It looks like the sun is rising, so we are now coming back into the daylight hours. So maybe that will make a bit of a difference to the track. Well, it should make a bit of a difference to the track temperature, but it's more going to be dictated by the rain.
Yeah, it's already going up, Kodiak. It's gone up by 2 Fahrenheit. I would send Celsius, but I don't have that available. So sort of already gone up a little bit, and yeah, I mean, I set up my car very much for the dry. You kind of the setup for the qualifying and the race is the same, apart from the radiator you open a bit more because of the engine, and you put more fuel in. And that is pretty much it, to be honest, Kodiak. But
you'd have more downforce in a wet setup, though, surely.
Yeah, but not around this track. It's so one downforce in the dry. It wouldn't make a huge amount of difference in the wet, to be honest, Kodiak. But in the dry, if you were just to put your downforce on one click, I reckon you'd lose about 2 seconds a lap. So
ouch.
And over 2.4 hours is literally no doubt. None of these drivers, all the downforce settings will be on 0. So,
that was a tad close there from Apex coming past the Ford. No particular impact there. Sun definitely coming up. It's coming up into very, very grey skies. No immediate indication. Apex, get that car around. No immediate indication that rain is going to be easing anytime soon. Operator now 36 seconds to the good. So he comes around the Sol M6 of Andrex. Borderline in third. He's got a minute. A minute. He's several minutes. It's a lap and a half down from Apex, but 14 seconds clear of TJ. But TJ has been setting some pretty decent pace for the best of the rest in that Toyota. Face full of Corvette at the moment, coming through the first chicane. Nunu, we saw coming into the pits for a new set of wets. We'll see if that helps him out any as he continues to press on at the tail of the LMPs. Zenny, 5 seconds quicker than anybody else in that Porsche. Whatever he's done to that car, it is working a treat for him. And race leader operator is in. He had 2.5 litres in the tank, so he had no choice. He had to come in at that particular moment. Something I'm curious about, Hamish, because sometimes the driver's screen looks a bit different to ours. We've had it in our own commentary as well. On the start-finish straight, there's lots of kind of flashing lights going on, and when I look at the map, there's a sort of at least kind of 3 cars that look like they're kind of jumping around and doing all sorts of silly things. Does that look the same for you?
I didn't notice that. But sometimes you notice flashing lights, and they usually a warning of like, you can overtake me, or I'm going to overtake you in a second.
Oh, someone flashing their lights, yeah. But this is kind of like party lights, and I only noticed it after you'd retired. So I wondered if you'd gone like, right, if I can't race, I'm going to have a party in the paddock. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
Well, it may very well be, retire to my yacht, although I don't think we're going to hit the coast. But...
Well, how apt considering how much rain there is out there. You could probably sail home.
Oh, Apex is in the pits and just came out of the pit.
Okay, he didn't take tyres on then. So just a full tank of fuel for him. And our operator is back out on track as well. So I don't think they were in the pits for a particularly long time, as operator is on the Grenadier. As Apex has now got back underway. So they both did the same thing there. 33, so yeah, not a great deal of difference there as far as the lead gap is concerned. Zenny, there he is. 30 seconds ahead of Darwin now. There's still half a tank to go in that Porsche. 37.2 in the Corvette. He is comfortably 5.5 seconds ahead of the Soul M6 of Andrex, who comes through that chicane. He himself has been slowly opening that gap back to File Darg rather. So that gap is slowly increasing. Oh, it's a little bit deep coming through that second chicane. But File Darg. Have a name, have mercy on us commentators.
Absolutely. Why can't it just be easy names like Bob?
Bob, Jeff, or Frank. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that'd be absolutely fantastic.
Ping Too High comes into that same chicane. He's 24 seconds behind the next Corvette in line. Finds himself 17 seconds ahead of the Ford of Mig Zorn, who again has a similar gap back to Alti. In his black Corvette, TBW is 23 seconds behind that Corvette, with 1.3 behind between himself and the Ferrari of Capo. All with very similar amount of fuels in the GTEs. That's not a great amount between 34 and 49. There was the Ripper, 32 in his Corvette. He was fighting with Zero Stefan early on, but he has been pressing on at a pretty decent rate, actually close to lead GTE pace. As there goes TJ in the Soul Toyota. There is Zero Stefan, who leads Dow King. Dow King's race started very, very well, but pretty much disintegrated. Oh, that was very close to the wall there, Stefan. As we have less than an hour to go now of this 2.4 hours of Le Mans, and as we mentioned, Dow King. Oh, that's cruel. If you click on Dow King's name, it actually lists you as the car behind him, Hamish. That's a cruel reminder of what might have been.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed with it. Well, not annoyed, a little bit disappointed really, because I was about 20 seconds up the road from borderline before my damage, and well, look where he is. So.
Oh, what might have been.
But it's part of being. I had it quite a lot in F1 and the GT3 leagues and stuff. You kind of crashing out never becomes easier, but once you've done it once, it doesn't bother you for days. It's I've done hundreds of races, especially in the F1 games, from the front, from the back, wherever it might be, and across different splits, and yeah, when you crash out, the initial sort of get the initial bit stings, and then it's like, you know what, there's always another time. So hey, I'll hopefully be here for Monaco.
Oh, Monaco, yes, when the final of the Triple Crown events. That won't be for a while yet, so but keep tuned. We will be advertising that when it does drop. That will be good fun. Was that going to be the Formula 8?
What I would have thought, with the IndyCars, I would hope it's Formula A's.
I can't imagine it's a nuclear-powered Formula X. That would be rather chaotic.
I don't think. Yeah, that would just be stupid. I must admit, I'm quite competent round there in the Formula A's because I do love using the Formula A cars around Monaco. And I'd say I'm actually probably one of the better drivers around that track in terms of overall lap time. But I don't think my consistency is there. I've always struggled with consistency because finding time to practice is hard. Being quick isn't difficult. Being consistent and quick is very difficult.
And you absolutely need that at Monaco.
Oh,
beyond
absolutely.
any doubt.
Yeah, at least with this track, you have quite a lot of runoff and things like that. In Monaco, you literally can't make a mistake. You can make a mistake at the first corner because you can go straight on, and you can make a mistake just before the lows happen. I'm not as in the corner before that. I don't know what it's called.
That's the top part of Mirabeau. Yeah,
Mirabeau. Yeah, and that's literally the two corners you can make a mistake on, and that will cost you 10 of a second. So it's not advised.
Nunu is a little bit caught out here. He's stuck behind Ripper and Capo, having their battle for 9th, and of course Nunu's got nowhere to go. He did think about trying to kind of cut them in half and go through the middle for a second, but opted against that. Now he's jumped past the Corvette. I think the Ripper actually might have backed out of that. Oh, and that's sent him wide. But now just going to get on the gas. A little bit of curse, flies past the Ferrari, and that is job done. But of course that put him slightly offline coming through Tetra Rouge, so that's slightly unfortunate there for Nunu as he's trying to close in on the rest of the field. But that's what the Ripper can see, assuming he's using a non-car view. If he does what I do and goes there, then it won't make any difference. But yeah, that's a little tricky for him with that many cracks.
Yes, absolutely. Not ideal, if that is what you can see. The track is warming up ever so slightly. I'm not sure if the rain is any heavier or not, but I don't think it's getting heavier, but I don't think it's getting any lighter either. We've got quite a few puddles, especially off the racing line. Ripper and Cat are having a great little battle. He's not going to try and move on the inside, is he? He might think about.
Wasn't gaining enough for that and opted not to. Capo gone a little bit deep in the entry bumper. What was the first giveaway that the rain is going to start to ease is look at the clouds. And again, Picasso is fairly good at giving that kind of visual cue. There's not a lot of breakage going on up there at the moment, so there's no immediate prospect of that rain starting to ease. Although right on the horizon, it's difficult to actually tell what the colour is, but it kind of starts on the horizon. It does look like it's a bit lighter, isn't it? Oh, look at the puddles! My God, you can really see the puddles in the daylight. Wow, look at the puddles at the end of the Mulsanne.
And that's the thing, in the dark, you don't know what puddles you're going to hit. So you spend 2 laps. Although Rip is, I hope, is going to try and move on the inside, potentially in the wet, and the Ferrari will surely have to back off. Don't go side by side.
That's going to be brave. Oh, there was a puddle there that Ripper hit. You saw the nose of the Corvette just twitch to the right.
Still side by side, and great move there by Ripper. Is the Ferrari going to try to move on the inside? No, he isn't. It's just the camera angle makes it look like he is.
Borderline's in with only a litre left on board, so he had to go in. He had no choice there. I wonder if there's any puddles around here. Yeah, we haven't been able to see them pretty much all race long, those puddles. But there was a... What I want to see is TJ brings his Toyota in as well. Only 6.3 left on his car. I want to see... And there's a river there. Wow, goodness me. I want to see what the water is like coming through the Porsche curves, because this was a major area concern. Oh wow, there's a lot of puddles leading up to the Porsche curves. Here we go. So you can just see just this essentially sheet of water. Whoa, steady Ripper. That's the tail getting seemingly loose on the Corvette again.
Yeah, I think the Corvette is quite a bit more twitchy. It's quicker, but I think it's more twitchy, so it's definitely faster than the dry. They look like new, and Borderline has got to move for 3rd place, maybe coming into the first corner. That has been pulled off, but Borderline potentially have probably hard slicks for Borderline.
Really?
That's great. No.
That can't be right.
No, I think it's showing that everyone's got hard slicks.
All right, I was going to say, there's no way you'd run slicks in this weather. But yeah, Borderline obviously just having come out of the pits. Nunu is on a different kind of rhythm to everybody else. He's got 32 litres on board, whereas Borderline's got a full tank. TJ came out 15 seconds behind these two, and looks like Borderline is getting into the slipstream and jumps out from behind Nunu. This is the third in class. Stream on down now. Wow, what a pace difference between the two Audis. As then he returns to the racing line. That was an amazing amount of a difference there. Oh, he's done it again. That's exactly what happened to Borderline before. Exactly the same place. And he's overcooked into that chicane again. Oh, goodness me, Borderline. What a great shame. That's lost him 7 seconds or so. Well, 6.5 seconds at least. What a shame. But back underway he goes then. Nunu, of course, will have to come into the pit before the end of the race anyway. So we will see them. And there you just see Nunu go into that chicane. TJ is back underway in the Toyota. That will help him, of course, gain a bit of time on Borderline. And Capo and Ripper have swapped place. That's for 9th. The Corvette now ahead of the Ferrari, as you can see. And the puddles, look at them. Any wonder Borderline struggled? Oh no, Capo, that's not how you do that. Because he's going to have to be very, very slow when he re-enters the circuit. Hamish has had to head off. He'll be back soon. So then, as operator comes past one of the black and blue Corvettes, has led for quite some time. Well, it's led basically since the rain started to fall, from about half an hour into this race, which was about an hour ago. Has led and has been building that lead ever since. 34 seconds, or nearly 35 seconds to the good over this man. AOR Apex as he comes through Tetra Rouge onto the Nadia. Nunu into third, as we were just seeing between himself and Borderline. Coming up to Arnage. And his aforementioned Borderline now in fourth with the Ford of Mixon right ahead of it. TJ Gamer in the Toyota has been pressing on, has been gaining a bit on Borderline in the last couple of laps. If he went for a full wet setup, he'd have been really golden at the moment. And it gets scary when you see the puddles. Well, they've been there for ages, but we couldn't really see them in the dark. But they really badly affect the trajectory of the cars. They make the cars much more Oh, there was a bit of a lockup there, I think, on that front right. As TJ came into the Porsche curves. Zenny has been unchallenged for a long, long time. Well, I say that he was under threat for a while, but once regaining the GTE lead, has now a similar lead actually to what Operator has over Apex, 35-36 seconds. Darbu in the lead Corvette. Holes on to second by 6.5 seconds over the M6 of Andrex. Andrex starting in 10th, I think it was, towards the tail end of the GT field, finds himself in a potential podium position. Answering a question in chat from Maxo regarding the leagues. Head over to www.apexonlineracing.com, have a look at the forums, and you will see the leagues we have. We cover Project Cars 2, F1 2018. Oh, we will cover F1 2018 once it's gone through its evaluatory phases. iRacing, Assetto Corsa, and R Factor 2 is where our leagues primarily. Also Dirt, yes. The Dirt games also get a league coverage as well. That's across the 3 platforms: PC, Xbox One, and PS4. So that is the best place to have a look at what goes on and what crazy bears like me shout about. Also on Twitter, Apex at Apex on Racing is where you'll find the Twitter account for AOR. A lot of things get announced there. Sign up, get involved. You never know what may happen next. Continuing to look through the field. Pretty much equidistant between 3rd and 5th is this man, File Dark. P2 High in the Corvette in the next Corvette down the road. That's 18.5 seconds down from Faldarg, and then 22 seconds ahead of Ford of Mixon. Really lonely race for our drivers now. If we bring up the map, we'll see they're pretty well scattered around. 7th is Ulti. Again, 24 seconds down from Mixon. 16.5 ahead of the reed-shaped Porsche of DPW. Ripper in the Corvette has broken away of the Ferrari of Capo by just over 4 seconds. There is the said Ferrari. Oh, and again, really struggling to slow his car down for that chicane. Zero Stefan. It's fair to say he's struggled a bit. Here comes one of the LMP1s. Not that one. It's Apex. No particular bother for Apex to come past the Corvette there. Dalkin's on very good pace actually. I mean, he's had a lot of pit stops, unfortunately. He's 8 seconds behind Zero Stefan now, but at that pace, it won't take him too long to shut that down. It's 5 seconds quicker almost than Zero Stefan. So he could well have some company very, very soon. 45.5 minutes to go of this endurance race. These guys have been going for, including the qualifying, pretty much bang on the nose of 2 hours. And it really does take its toll. Looking at the skyline, there is no particular break anywhere in the clouds. Look at it from GT. There you go. You can actually see above the horizon. It looks fairly bright in that direction. Looks considerably less bright in that direction. So the rain may start to ease up pretty soon. But I don't know that we're really going to start seeing anybody going onto the sticks. It does take a bit of time for the rain to dissipate. And look at the puddle on the inside of that Apex there. It's coming through the Dunlop chicane. Or through the S's rather. There's a lot of standing water still out there. It does not even take into account the spray coming off the back of these cars. Who is that coming up behind? Looks CBW's car, I think. Yeah, so that's the Ripper. Got a potential battle there. That's for 8th. Unfortunately, I've run out of drinks. That's why I keep having to clear my throat. The question from Matthew: are you Polish? No. Is the plain answer to that. I'm not sure if you were phrasing that at someone specifically. I'll answer it as well. I am not Polish. We have drivers enter our leagues from across the world. Poland, America, all the European countries have very large segment of Europe and entered our leagues. But also we have Oceania, we have Australia, New Zealand included in primarily the F1 leagues, but there's interest as quite a number of drivers from America, primarily that one, THR operator, one of our Americans. So, multinational league. It was good to have you in the chat, Stefan. Rest well, my friend. Oh, Zero Stefan's in the pits. That's why he has a pretty empty fuel tank. So that gave Gal King an easy pass there to get off the bottom of the GTEs. It's going to be an interesting point. Let's have a look at fuel amounts. 26, 20, 38. We saw Borderline come through the pits very recently. And 50. TJ having a bigger tank in the Toyota. What about our GTEs? 22 for Zep. 10 for Dark. 20 for Andrex. 7 for... Wow, there's quite a big difference in our GTEs. 13 for Pinky. 8 for Mixon. 7 for Ulti. 13 for DPW. 7 for... just under 8 for Ripper. 10 for Capo. 12 for Dalking. No, he didn't take... Oh, that's interesting. Didn't take on... That was a weird jump he did at the end. didn't take on a full fuel tank, so we're now getting to a stage where anyone coming in for fuel does not have to completely fill the tank to get to the end. That's absolutely fair enough. Ooh, steady. Zero Stefan back underway. So we will start to see our GTEs come in for their last stop. Operator won't have to come in for quite a while. No one close to anybody else as far as on-track battles are concerned, so for a while at least we have got essentially a tactical phase, you could say. Wow, Andrex did a 4:14 there, taking or last time around 4:14.9, taking quite a significant chunk of time away from Darwin. And still took 3/10 from him that time around as well. So Andrex in the M6 is reading in Dawu again. What's the fuel? So 17.8 for the M6 and 8.5 for the Corvette. Now this essentially means that Andrex, when he does come in, will have to pit for a shorter period of time. Zenny is just gone. It's 40 seconds down the road, and Filedog is in. He could have gone another lap, but fair enough. Decided to bring that Corvette in now. Does he change tyres? I doubt it, to be honest. Yeah, that range's not going to change to any significant amount. That's just going to be fuel. I'm curious to know how much he takes on. As we saw 67 on... I forgot who it was that came in earlier. Such a terrible short-term memory, I do apologize for that. 75, so File Die taking on a bit more fuel, but these GTE cars have between 90 and 100 litre tanks. And that is a Migzorn bringing the Ford in, so yeah, that again will be for fuel alone. Goodness me. Really should have brought more drink with me. Yep, all going to be on how much fuel that Ford takes on board. Can't see it really. Ulti is it? Only 3.5 left in that black Corvette. And that is Ripper coming in. He only had 3.5 on board as well. That saves TBW a fight. Oh, that's Capo coming in. Capo's bringing the Ferrari in. He only had 6 litres left. 72 litres for the Ford. Who was it that came in? Oh, it was Zero Stefan. Yes, of course it was. 63 litres on. Everyone else seems to... Oh, Ripper hasn't stopped yet. Oh, Migzorn came out right behind TBW. Battle there for 6th. Wow, Ulti, you've taken a lot of fuel on. And he's changing tyres. Huh. Is he? They look like slicks going on. That's one way to do it. That's, who's that? Del King? Yeah. Now that looked really much like slicks going on to Ulti's car. I can't believe he's put slicks on the car. Why is he still there? There he goes. He's taken on a lot of fuel. Capo's still there, so I'm assuming he had damage on the car. He's only taking 67 litres on, interestingly.
I'm back, Kodiak.
Hello,
I'll be going at some point. I'm not entirely sure. I'll be seeing a friend or something. So just to let you know, what's happened? Anything exciting?
Well, we just had some of the GTEs come in for some fuel. Migzorn has come out right behind TBW, battle for 6th, although TBW was very slow coming through Tetra Rouge. Now, we're seeing quite a difference of fuel, as Dal King is now underway with 89 litres, or just under. Zero Stefan's got 61. Capo's come out with 66. That's going to be cutting it a little fine, perhaps. Ulti changed tyres, interestingly. Now, it looked very much like he's got slicks on his car.
Well, we'll soon find out, because it's not slick weather.
No, nowhere near it. And looking at the cloud cover, it's not looking like he's going to be within the time frame of the race. I'm assuming that's a graphical glitch on the spectator cam. Ripper is been through the pits as well. He's got 66 litres on board, so it's going to be interesting to see how well they manage the fuel, I think. Oh, Dawo's in from second in class. So that's another planned stop for him. But also I noticed that Andrex was really closing in on Dawo
So they've
as well.
got 11 litres of fuel, so the track is warmer even still than it was. There's quite a large crossover period, Kodak. It's not like F1, where the crossover is like 2 or 3 laps at most. There's quite a you can even get like up to 10 laps of crossover, sometimes even more. So as long as you avoid the puddles. Oh, one of the LMP1 cars getting very close to Andrex and almost made a right meal of it on the inside of that curb. There's an awful lot of standing water, and Apex definitely does not want to throw away that second place.
No, Ping Too High has come in the Corvette. Oh, he's missed his pit box.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so he's just had to reverse back to his. He missed it by quite a way as well. So
I wish if I knew, I would have reversed him a bit.
Well, I mean, it's highly likely, Hamish, you didn't have a pit crew indicate to you at all. So
I heard some people say that your pit box can be occupied. However, the car will just ghost, and you can still have a pit stop, so it doesn't matter.
But either way,
they came out so late. It was. I should have done pit stop practice, so I got an idea where I was pitting to be on.
Well, that doesn't matter because that changes session to session. So you would pit somewhere where the game tells you to.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
Well, I was short stop for Ping Too High. He's already coming out with 75.5 litres on.
Presumably he didn't change tyres then.
Can't have done. There's no way.
Oh my gosh. Zen has got GT3 cars, he's got Le Mans cars, he's got everything going past him. That was quite an action-packed 30 seconds or 10 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah, that's Zero Stefan right with him. TBW's brought his Porsche in. There's a lot of damage to the car, but I think that's already actually been repaired as much as it can.
What are the names in red for, Cody?
That is because they have a time penalty. Oh, Apex actually has himself a penalty. So Apex has a second penalty. Andrex has 3 seconds now. File Dark 2. Ping Too High 2. Ulti has 3. And Dow King has 3.
Okay.
So nothing is really going to make a great deal of difference to the vast majority of them.
No.
Ironically, Andrex, who's one of the cleanest drivers AOR knows, was the first to get a penalty on the board.
Yes.
He won't thank me for reminding the stream of that.
So 31 laps leaders have done. That's quite a significant number around this particular track. They are still set in fact. If anything, Apex is going a little bit faster. If he was to go a second faster every single lap until the end, I guess he could challenge victory, but it's very unlikely. Operator's too consistent, really. A Borderline and Nunu, I think we're going to have an interesting battle form there. Unfortunately, TJ is over a minute behind Borderline, and then you have going to the GTE cars. Speaking of Zenny, in he comes. He's actually opted to come in a bit earlier than he needed to. He had another 9.7 on the fuel tank there. But he had a bit of a slow lap last time around. Capo and Ulti. Oh, Ulti! Oh dear, that's gone horribly wrong for Ulti. Coming through the Dunlop chicane. He had to bounce over it. That's given the position back to Capo. Sorry, what were you saying there? Andrex will be probably coming in this lap as well. He's got 4 litres of fuel left. I imagine he is going to go, or either not change the tyres. Wow, he hit that massive puddle there. Yeah, that's exactly what they were worried about before the race. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. The nose just pitched over to the left, and he does indeed come in. He doesn't like to run the tank to dry. Wow, Zenny took on 95 litres there, way more than he needed, but he's got a very healthy lead. He probably didn't have time to change it in game, because you can obviously you have like set pit strategy, so you set up your pit strategy before the race and you effectively tick the box you want. So potentially just got, and that looks like wet compound tyres, slicks going on, but it was also slicks coming off, so that is obviously just a bit of a graphical bug. Andrex is getting fueled up. I wonder how much fuel he'll put in. He'll know exactly what to put in, I would have thought. Let's have a look. They're still working on that BMW, presumably not fixing any damage.
And away he goes.
It's 70 litres. So I suppose Zenny wasn't too far off. 90 litres. They would have wasted a little bit of time, but it wasn't horrific, I suppose.
Darby returns to second in class. That's what I was also interested to see. Now, I think it was around 4 or 5 seconds when Daru came in, and it's about 4 seconds again. So, but Andrix was definitely the quicker of the pair, but Daru is 6 litres lighter. So, side by side coming into the Mozan. That is Ulti diving on the inside of Capo, but it's gone a little bit deep. Ferrari, he can't capitalise on that. Stayed in the slipstream. We have just over 30 minutes, or 31 minutes remaining of this race. The Ferrari getting the slipstream on Ulti. Then this is for 9th in class. They'll race for whatever honours they can get hold of, and fair play to Nunu's brought his car in to the pits as well. That's very close. The Ferrari slotting back behind the Corvette, and that battle could well be done for now. Fuel did Nunu have? He had 11 litres on, so he could have gone on a bit further. Borderline then going through into third. And Ulti then retains that 9th place. Now fuel, I'm assuming Nunu's got 40 litres, not quite a full tank. So Borderline's got 23.9. He might have to do a bit of a splash and dash towards the end. We'll see how that transpires. So what have they got left? Give or say 9 laps.
Yeah, so Borderline can do 6 laps if he's conservative with his.
He'll have to come in again.
Like a splash and dash, like you say. Unfortunately, that's sometimes how it falls. You kind of it just so happens that you might not think saving 0.1 of a litre a lap is going to be much or whatever it might be. But if you're saving 0.1 of a litre, that's an extra lap of fuel at the end. So, if you do a little bit of fuel saving, to save fuel, what I was doing, I was lifting off at 200 metres in both Mulsanne straights and braking at 100. And that, 100 metres where you're not using up fuel. So, and short shifting, but then just using the push to pass to, or the curves even, to, to save fuel that way. So there are quite a few things you can do in these cars to save a lot of fuel. Another thing, of course, slipstream. Stay behind the car you're racing for a while, and that'll help an awful lot.
I tell you what has happened. The rain has nearly stopped and the sun's out.
So potentially, Borderline might have played somewhat of a master stroke.
But he'll never make the fuel last.
He won't make the fuel last, but he'll have to come into the pits anyway for dry tyres, so it might not really affect him.
Good point.
At the moment, New is probably going to pass. Probably going to pass him in the pit.
But it all depends, because if they're on, unless he's gone for slicks now, which would be a gamble, but you never know. He looks.
I think the track will dry out quickly. And the track has just shot up in temperature. It's now 90 Fahrenheit, which has got to be 30 odd degrees centigrade.
In that region of it's about 30 degrees centigrade. So it's still first tracked. It's getting there, but there's still a lot of puddles. New. Cool. That was a little bit hairy coming through Mulsanne.
You really don't want to spin at this point. Last half an hour is the worst time because you're so close to the end of a race. These guys have been driving for 2 hours.
Yeah, well over that because they got the qualifying as well. So it's 2 hours of racing,
absolutely.
But another half an hour of qualifying. Well, 15 minutes. 15 minutes of quality, then 15 minutes of waiting, then into the race. So they've been going well over 2 hours by the stage. So fatigue is going to start becoming a real problem. And Nunu, I wonder whether Nunu has actually gone for the slicks, because he's starting to really kind of wander off the road in quite a few places. And there he goes again. Now, if he's gone to slicks now, he was pulled up absolute blinder, but he's going to have to be very, very careful.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's closing that gap. It's so difficult to find out what tyre he is on. But yeah, I'll keep an eye on that King-Kodiak. Is he?
Well, that was. I mean, if he's on slicks, he was very brave coming into the Porsche curves. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be very surprised.
I'd be terrified doing that on dry tyres in the wet. That's not a challenge I'm going to do. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Oh, Daru's in trouble. Daru's had a major problem coming just before Tetraroos. He's just lost that second position to Andrex.
Oh no, what the leader's going to do? They've got 5 laps of fuel each. So, are they pitting for wets or dry tyres?
5 litres, not 5 laps.
5, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that
laps.
you did. No,
But,
surely they're going to go into dries. Because the rain has actually
Well,
stopped.
I would have.
Or
Yes,
near as
I
damaged.
would have thought so. New isn't losing time to the leaders, but then Norva's borderline. So it's staying at.
He was coming up as New only had 5 litres on board. So what's he done? Dump his fuel tank? Oh, he's wandered off the road. But he's trying to come past one of the blue Corvettes. So that probably threw him offline.
Gosh, 6 minutes behind the leaders. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, but that's endurance racing for you.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, the top 2 guys are so quick.
Whoa,
Very consistent.
what is... Operator was all over the place with... I don't know what he was... I don't know where he got very, very squirrely coming out of that chicane, but it looked like he was really all over the place for a brief moment there. Unless his tyres are just completely dead. But the rain has stopped. The spray is getting noticeably lighter. But that is going to be very, very hard on slick tyres at the moment. But it's all dependent on how quickly those puddles disappear.
You will notice wet tyres get very, very hot in dry condition. But the conditions don't look particularly dry. You know the drivers are really struggling is when they're so far offline. But look at all the standing water at this, if you're still with operators. Look at all the standing water. The end of them all sound straight. So that would be very difficult in dry compact tyres.
But he's got no choice. He's got to come in now. He does not have enough fuel to do it unless... I don't think even if he tried to emulate your amazing heroics and to get round on 2 litres, I don't even think he'd manage that.
He's just gone down to 2 litres, so he's got absolutely no chance. I started the lap with 2.3 litres, and I was going formation lap speed basically.
Well, you had no choice, and you were so close. My heart goes out to you, Amos. It really does. You were so close. You were pit lane entry.
I was so gutted, but I could, I was like, oh.
But like you say, you started on 2.3 litres. He's on 2.4 now, so he couldn't do it.
Yeah. So we will. Well, find out what tyres he goes on to. I mean, I'd say he can gamble because he's got this huge gap to borderline, but he hasn't got the gap to Apex. So if Apex makes the right decision here, he could very much jump.
But Apex has got to come in as well. So
if they both have to decide what tyres. If I was Apex, I would go on to slick.
Yeah,
if I was operator, I'd probably think about being more safe by doing a smash and dash towards the end.
Yeah, but all the grey clouds are just disappearing now. It's just blue skies really coming out strong now. He would have probably wanted another lap at least. But I don't think he's got a choice. He's got to go onto the slicks.
I would have thought so.
He's just got to have to be very, very tentative. And there is Apex, just coming past one of the black Corvettes. He is taking that very, very... Wow!
Whoa,
that was a big moment.
A little bit squirrely. Yeah, he did indeed. Not what you want.
And that's going to be even harder on the dry tyres.
And in he comes to pits, running it right down to 1 litre. Good lord.
That's risky.
Brave.
And so
that's very risky.
That's fuel on. Operator's not changed. He's not changed tyres. He's only taken on fuel. That's a risk.
Are you sure he only... Because I did see tyres around his car, but...
They're always there, but he wasn't stationary long enough to have taken them on.
Apex's dudes aren't coming out, so I don't know what's happening.
They're there on mine, so again, that's your screen playing.
Tyres changing or not?
Just fuel at the moment. No tyres for Apex either.
Interesting. So they've played a really dull strategy. That's ruined our fun.
It hasn't. Damn you! But then they obviously feel like it's too wet to try the slicks
yeah,
now. But
it is really. In fact, it's too wet in parts, but in other parts it's dry.
it's looking really dry, isn't it? And this is
And
exactly.
these were the conditions. These were the crossover conditions that I was talking about earlier. So, yes.
I mean, if it's 10 laps long, then the tyres might just about last. But, ooh, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be. He's not hanging around. He's not coasting either. As operator, he's absolutely flying at the moment. He's really getting the speed out. So he's not looking to kind of lift and coast or any such. But Apex was definitely a little quicker in the early dry phase. He really wanted this dry phase to come much earlier than it has done for him to challenge for the lead.
Yeah, he's gained 3 seconds through those pit stops. So, in fact, he's gained quite quickly now as well.
He's taken on less fuel. That's why.
Yes,
Operator took on a full tank, which is fine. That'll definitely get him there. Apex has taken on 33 litres, so shorter stop. Fair enough. He's still got enough to get to the end, I'd have thought. But again,
you would have thought so, yeah.
But again, if he has to come in for tyres, then the amount of fuel they have now is irrelevant.
Borderline and Nunu are going to be so close because Borderline has to pit. Nunu probably doesn't have to pit. He's right on the edge. In fact, he'll have to fuel save, but he only needs to fuel save by about 1 litre, and he's gone a little bit wide, which definitely won't help there. So we're going to get hopefully a great battle for the podium place, Kodiak.
Could well do. Could well do. So Borderline's going to be coming in the next 3. He might just opt to do it now, but I would imagine he will want the track. He might risk tyres though. He's not in yet.
Possibly.
He might play the tyre chance, you know. Still a lot of spray coming off the tyres at the moment, so
he'd be taking that fuel to the absolute limit. He's on 12 litres. He can potentially do for it, so 3 laps if he does a tiny bit of fuel saving.
Yeah, he wouldn't have to do a lot.
No, he wouldn't need to do much at all. Just a case of short shifting a little bit maybe. So 11.3 litres, yeah. So
Andrex has had trouble somewhere. Dawu is now on Dandrex's case. Andrex was one of the quickest GTEs. Wow, that's a lot. Andrex is in trouble. I saw him getting really out of shape just coming through the Corvette curves, and he's banged off the wall. Surely that's going to bring the M6 in. Oh, what a shame for Andrex, comfortably in second. No, he's actually opted to continue. Maybe
he's not using a strange steering lock or anything, so far
he might have gotten away with minimal suspension damage. Oh, that's someone coming in. It was CJ in the Toyota. Let's see what he does. He had 19 litres, so I think he's going to risk the tyres. He's a long way down, though. He's over a minute behind Nunu, so I guess he's got...
But a minute you could potentially make up if a driver's behind don't know what you're doing.
Operator lost a huge amount of time that lap. What was... Oh, no, it didn't. Sorry, that's their out lap. That always catches me out. But he did lose 6 seconds, but that's probably just a shorter stop from Apex, rather.
It was 30-second Kodiak.
So it has come down. TJ
hasn't changed tyres yet.
No, I don't think he's going to. I think he's doing repairs.
So interesting. So the next one is now Borderline. What is Borderline going to do? He'll be coming in 3 laps though. So he's behind a GTE car at the moment, the Corvette of whoever that is. I'm not entirely sure.
That is Zero, Stefan. We've actually lost one of our GTEs, I've realised. It's taken us to this point, and we've lost a GTE, sadly. I'm not going to be able to figure out who, because I'm terrible at the best of times.
Yes, I mean, I've got absolutely no chance last racing.
I was going to say it's Dalking. Yeah, of course. When I look at the last place guy, it's Dalking we've lost. Alti is on TBW's case. That's about for 8.
Oh, who's that going very slow? In the blue car. I'm sorry, I'm just calling it a blue car. I don't know what car it is.
Well, it's going to be a Corvette, I'd have thought.
Is a It was a Corvette, I think. Oh, I don't know.
I was going to say, Painting High didn't look like he was going particularly quick coming onto the Tete Rouge, but he's...
Oh, it was Pink. Yes, it was Pink. He was being overtaken. But
so he might be getting out people's way.
Well, he was going at a cruise. He was going at like 50 miles an hour.
Yeah, it'd be a slow down warning then.
Yes, possibly.
Alti and TBW still...
Sorry, Borderline's caught GTE in.
Oh, what's happened?
Yeah. He's just about made that through unscathed. I hate it when you catch up with someone at that point in the track. It's not a nice feeling.
There's nothing I think you can really do. You're not going to, unless the car you're trying to pass throws it off the road, which you don't really want to do. The Borderline continues.
So will he come in this lap or next lap? He doesn't do any fuel saving because he's used exactly 4 litres up until this point. So he's going to have to do all the fuel saving he can.
Whoa! Alti! Sorry, Hamish. Alti would nearly ran into the back of TBW. TBW looked like he was being a little cautious, or Alti was being a little too quick coming through Tete Rouge and slid off the road. They're now on the Hanardier. Corvette. He's going into the slipstream, but not gaining particularly on the Porsche. He's gained enough though. Jumps out. Is he going to outbrake him? No, he opts not to because there's still some pretty significant puddles down there. TBW only just gets his car rotated well enough.
Nunu's gone very wide. I think potentially Kodiak, they are now struggling with tyres. So potentially it being too dry for these drivers, which could be an advantage for Borderline for third, because that means Nunu will have to come in as well.
Here comes Alti on TBW. Oh, and again you see how that Corvette's just dancing through the puddles. He didn't have a means of getting through it comfortably. But yeah, you're seeing a very distinct, a lot of dry areas forming now. So
just the odd puddle now, rather than a sort of a thin layer of water among the track when we're in that initial crossover period.
Yeah. So we could well see people. It's all to do with, can you regain the pit stop loss?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, here comes Alti again.
And then you got Borderline behind. Oh, this is going to be interesting, those two battling. As well, it's so wet at the end of this Mulsanne straight.
It is drenched over there. And then you go back along the Mulsanne and it's really, really dry.
Yeah, so
it's very much more dry.
Right. But,
Oh, side by side again, those two. Before they're going to get to Indianapolis Narnage. Who's going to blink first? Oh, Dabu's in trouble. Dabu's in big trouble. He's spun coming on through Tete Rouge. Oh, TBW just manages to take the apex. And he's maintained that 8th position, but he's gone deep into Indianapolis. They've got less than 14 minutes to go, so any move they need to do, they've got to get on with it. They haven't got the luxury of time anymore. Through Arnage, TBW very, very cautious through there. Yet again, Alti trying to do something about it. And that's again so very slow. Alti now jumps out, TBW runs into the grass. And that was enough to just lose. It cost Alti that little bit of momentum.
So close with these guys into Porsche curbs. Borderline is coming into the pits. I would think any second now. I don't think he's been fuel saving because he knows he's coming into the pits. Does he? Yes, he does. So, is he changing tyres?
I wonder whether he'll risk it.
Borderline's made a horrendous pit entry. He span and went on. Oh, that was awful.
Oh dear.
He span and went into the grass and then had to do a U-turn into the pit.
Oh no! This is going to cost him so much time, and Alti still pushing that Porsche through the Ford chicanes. Now has again a look on the outside as they come into the Dunlop curve. Oh, the inside of the Dunlop curve, but he's going to have the outside for the chicane. Oh, last late breakers, there goes the Porsche. Can he slow it down?
He hasn't changed tyres. Same tyres for Borderline.
So Nunu has gone past That one mistake from Borderline has cost him that potential podium.
As TJ, I changed tyres. Sorry, Kodiak.
I think TJ did change tyres because he's so slow.
Is he?
Well, I don't know. He was just very slow through that one section, but I mean, his previous lap was a 5-minute lap time, so he had a lot of damage to deal with. So Borderline comes back out on track. He's 12 seconds behind Nunu. It's going to take a mistake really from Nunu to gain that time in the remaining. Oh, we have lost a GTE. Who did we lose? Ulti. Oh no! He just got past EBW. Oh, what a shame for Ulti. He's had a issue of some description, unless he threw it in the wall. At the point that we were looking away. Corvette is having an amazing battle. Coming out behind EBW, that is race leader operator. It looks like then the rain didn't stop early enough for anyone to contemplate going on to the slicks.
So, bit of a shame from Borderline. I mean, I would like to see him be a little bit more risky and possibly gamble, even though there are a few wet patches, because it is definitely dry enough for slicks. And considering he was coming into pits anyway, you know, it is just a little bit of a shame to not see him take that risk, because he wasn't under particular pressure from TJ anyway.
Oh, Ulti, he's declared in chat. It was a terrible race. Well, it was pretty impressive considering you joined during quali, as opposed to kind of being prepared for it.
Anjak's doing well still in P2, minutes behind Zen.
Yeah, he's got 10 seconds to Darwick.
Yes, that's very true. Then I suppose, who's the other?
You've got Frail Dark, that is...
Frail Dark is just 15 seconds behind him as well. So, in fact, you've got... I need to... Ping as well, not too far behind him. So, we've got a good little battle forming, or potentially a good little battle forming around that area. You've got have you got Rip and TPW quite close? Yes, we do.
No, they're 13 seconds apart.
No,
no, unfortunately, the Corvette is quite a way down the road from the Porsche.
Oh, I've got them showing as a second part, but oh well.
No, unfortunately not. Oh yeah, I see what you mean. The gap to leader shows them as a second apart, but actually on the road, because that's caught me out as well, that bit.
Oh, I don't. Oh, I only have a gap to leader.
So, TBW is just coming into the Porsche curves now. He's now 12 seconds, or 12.5 seconds behind the Ripper, and 22 seconds ahead of the Capo. Let's see see how the operator's doing on those tyres. We have got under 9 minutes to go. 3:25.9, so he's not really suffering any, but it's just bone dry there. There's no water anywhere on that particular section. Oh, that's actually Nunu. He's coming up to lap again.
I mean, you can, if you're on the dry tyres, you could be, you know, potentially not actually. You could be setting 3-minute 22s at least, I would have thought at the moment.
It doesn't look like anyone's taken that gamble, so, and I don't think anyone's going to now, because it will cost you a minute in the pit lane.
Yes. So, yeah, you know, you're absolutely right, Kodiak. Yeah. But only thing that might happen is the tyres might get so hot they are pretty much forced to come in.
Could do.
TJ lapping some of the back markers as well. Solid race in P5. He's been going a little bit quicker than Borderline recently.
TJ, yep. You are definitely on slicks, because he just had nothing in that. So he's either on completely dead wet, or, as we think, he's actually gone onto the slicks. And this is where he is struggling so badly.
And then it's the case of trying to bring the tyres back up to temperature as well. If we can get an... in fact, I will try and have a look, see if there's a way I can see what tyre he is on, Kodiak.
We certainly can't here in the complex. So.
It looked In fact, that's weird. It looks like he's on wets.
He could well be, but he could well just burn them to nothing.
Only if you go to roof cam, you can actually see the tyre you're on because there's that like little gap in the...
He's off!
Oh,
he's hit the wall.
Oh, he's toast.
Yeah, I think he's just... and now he's gone backwards and smacked into the other barrier. So he's... maybe he's trying to balance the damage on the front with damage on the back. But
well, it's like, old people in car parks. They're just crashing fast.
I'm sure TJ Gamer will love you for that one.
Eventually just making more and more space around him. Apex is doing well. He's actually closing in on Operator, but it won't be enough unless Operator makes one horrific mistake. And you have to say, he's been so consistent, it's unlikely.
Yeah, absolutely. 25 seconds in 6 minutes is a pretty hefty gap to try and make up. Even Apex has still got his windscreen wiper going. That's fairly pointless because there is no one in front of you and not going to be for a while by the look of the map.
Oh, well, to be fair, he might be using T-Cam, so you wouldn't notice.
Oh, good point. Yeah, he might be up there. So that is true. But yeah, he's got, I assume GTEs he's coming up to. Does he come through Arnage?
I'm afraid, Kodiak, I've got the call to shoot off.
Right, you are, sir. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been great having you in the box.
Having me. It was a great race. Well, it was. The quality of these drivers are phenomenal. Thanks for everyone who's spectated the live stream and supported AOR and these drivers as well. It really is fantastic to see the support. And I will be back soon enough. In probably with Kodiak in F1. If not, I'll be in another racing event soon enough. As the Rallycross events, which were they were good fun, weren't they, Kodiak?
Oh, they were.
So yes, see you very shortly.
Thank you very much, Hamish, and we will see you again soon. Oh, Apex is going to catch up to the back of Migzorn. Ooh, that's very risky. There's no point doing that. I mean, it gets you past earlier, kind of, but you are costing both of your time. The lap times are not showing any sign of difficulty for our top two. TJ just now has quite a bit of damage on that car. He's topping out at 184. He's struggling to get up to the double ton, which is where the LMP1 should be. So that's a whole heap of struggle for TJ. Online is nearly 17 seconds down from Nunu. So with 4.5 minutes to go, it's looking set to continue like that. Operator now with 30 seconds or 31 seconds to the good. He has nothing particularly to worry about. Sticking with our GTEs. Zenny is nearly a minute ahead of Andrex. Absolutely phenomenal pace from the Porsche. Slight rearranging of the front, as you can see, that hasn't cost him anything. Andrex, after Darwoo's earlier problem. Whoa, Andrex goes for a very late Apex there, but assuming he's still running the wets. He goes, continuing on his merry way. There he is, Daru. That's how much time he lost due to that one issue. Oh, that's TJ, I think. Whoa, yes, TJ's gamble. He's got to be on slicks. Even dead wets wouldn't behave like that. It looked like wets on that shot, but we know that they don't look correct. That's how I would expect slicks to behave in wet conditions, as opposed to dead wet. So the gamble did not pay off. Oh, TPW! He's had a problem before Tetra Rouge. I think he's got some damage on the front of that. Well, he had damage on the front of that car anyway, but perhaps not. He's just going on his merry way, but he is down to 9th now. 9th in class. Capo and the Ferrari has gone past him. Less than 3 to go. There's still enough puddles out there to make the slicks impossible. TJ tried it, it didn't work. Through the Corvette curves for the penultimate time. That's Andrex in the M6 that he's coming up to. We may as well ride on board then with our race leader. Ooh, steady on. Andrex Apex can hold his line. He hasn't really got anywhere to go. He can't get out of the way. Now, Operator will go to the right. There he goes. The final lap then of this 2.4 hours of Le Mans. This second of the Triple Crown events has begun. Through the Dunlop curve into the Dunlop chicane. GHR Operator has been super consistent into the S's. Past the entrance to the Bugatti circuit, it's almost completely bone dry here, but we've seen how much water there is at the opposite end of the track. Onto the Hanadia for the final time. No one anywhere near. If we can bring up the map, we'll see there's no one in front of him for almost the entire length of the Hanadia. Now, I don't know whether that's a graphical glitch or whether he's flashing his lights. It makes no difference. Don't get too carried away yet, Operator. Through the first chicane. Still a fair amount of puddles there. You can see that it will still twitch the car. So you could still throw it in the wall, and if he lost a wheel, that would be a hell of a long limp. 3 wheels on the wagon from there. So we can't celebrate just yet. Through the second chicane. No dramas whatsoever. Qualified on pole, spent the dry phase of the beginning of the race behind Apex. And since the rain came, he has been completely peerless. Now into the Mulsanne for the last time. Tentatively goes through the puddles. Charging on towards Indianapolis Nanage. Absolutely brilliant performance by all of our drivers, to be fair. If you made it this far into this kind of race, you deserve a great round of applause and a great deal of respect. Through Indianapolis, over to the left for Arnage. Sun did not come anywhere near early enough for Apex. He clearly had the pace over Operator. I say clearly had the pace. He certainly had a couple of seconds a lap in. Well, I'm trying to remember now, so long ago. It was a good few tenths he had in hand over Operator, it would seem, in the dry phase, as they now enter the Porsche curves for the final time. But it is absolutely well and truly deserved, this victory. I mean, he could lose. He could pretty much just turn the engine off and coast at this point, although that did Hamish no good when he ran out of fuel. But here it is then, into the 4 chicanes. Your winner here at Le Mans for the 2.4-hour Triple Crown event. It is the Audi of THR Operator. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Where is Zenny? He's actually just missed the flag, so he will have to carry on. Second place is going to go to the next Audi. Oh, steady. You can still throw it into the wall. That's not Nunu. That's Nunu, who's had a very big argument with something. Brings the rest, what remains of his car, back home. There's Borderline. There he is. Where's Apex? Apex is just coming over the line. Second place to AOR Apex. Nunu has already crossed the line. There is Borderline crawling over the line in 4th. Valiant effort, sir. There is TJ. That looks like Andrex that's crossing over the line. The BMW, yes it is. He will take 2nd from qualifying in 10th. Or towards the tail end of the grid. He will be very happy with that, I am sure. There's TJ. He's crossed the line. Darwo in 3rd. Had the potential for 2nd. But sadly, one too many mistakes cost him that podium spot. Final Dag, rather. A great effort for him. Here comes the next Corvette, ping too high. Through the 4 curves. Oh, lovely bit of tail wagging there. 5th place to the blue Corvette. Where is Zenny? got a Corvette right behind him. Not sure what happened to Zenny there. Oh, he might have a slow down warning. Next one to cross the line is Mixor. The irony is, if Zenny had slowed down by about 20 seconds, he would have already been deemed to have finished, but that is the nature of the beast. So the sole forward of Migzorn is going to claim that 6th position. The penalties were fairly pointless, as they didn't alter anyone's position. What could have been for the Ripper, though? One of the quickest GTE cars out there. Was right up there towards the front early on, but alas, a huge incident. The beginning part of the race denied a stronger finish. 7th it is for the yellow Corvette. There is Capo in the Sol Ferrari. Where is Zenny? No, he's already crossed the line. Never mind. Your official qualifying finishing positions then: THR operator first with Apex 2, Nunu 3, Borderline 4, TJ Gamer 5, only surviving LMPs. Zenny winning the GTEs with Zenny actually deems DNF, but only because he didn't beat the timer. Andrex 2, Darby 3, File Dark 4, Ping 2 High 5, Migzorn 6, Ripper 7, Capo 8, TPW 9, Zero Stefan, that's not what I meant to do. Rounding out our finishers. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to those that have been with us throughout the entire stream. What an amazing race it has been. We're not going to do driver interviews just simply because it is very late. Our drivers must be absolutely knackered, and of course for a number of people in different time zones it really is pushing a very unsociable hour. Really appreciate those that have been with us throughout the stream. Those that are catching up later, thank you very much. For those that have watch the stream back, we thank our sponsors, of course. Elgato, a major partner here at Apex Online Racing. Head over to the Elgato website to check out their amazing products. Thank you to all drivers for taking part in this event. Without them, it certainly couldn't take place, but without you, the fans, the spectators, it simply couldn't happen. So I am going to wrap things up here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and we will see you next time. Thank you very much, and good night.